Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Fun morning, eh? Crypto market's off to a decent start. We have some sort of big announcement from Trump over the next, let's see, in about 13 minutes or so, roughly. We're going to tune into that. A lot of drama going on right now. You guys know when there's drama, I have to get involved. I got to see what's going on. There's a whole lot of speculations about these announcements. I think it's all total nonsense, but I'm going to give you the debrief before it. Don't worry. But yeah, a lot going on. And I was like, you know what? Instead of me just making a video right now that might get outdated because the market's all volatile, why not go on live? We did a little live stream yesterday. I thought it was a great time. You guys seemed to enjoy it. So like, you know what? Why not do it again? I've changed the scenery a little bit. We got a little blue action going. I'm feeling real blue today. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm feeling it. And yeah, so today we're going to take a look at the market. We're going to look at some of this drama going on. We're going to watch that announcement from Trump. I think it has something to do with defense, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. But we're going to keep an eye on what's going on there. We're going to look at some charts. I'm going to update you on some trades. Yeah, we got a good bit of stuff. So welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Hope y'all are doing good. Don't forget to drink your water. I was supposed to go live 10 minutes ago, but your boy was moving a bookshelf, and I dropped a part of the bookshelf on me. And I don't know if you can see it. Like, there, you see this big scratch? Dude, I scratched the hell out of myself. So I had to, go to the infirmary and get all stitched up, and they had to re-sew my leg back on. But we're back because I can't give up on you guys. Anyway, so I don't know what I'm on today, but I hope you guys are looking forward to it. But yeah, man, I've really been enjoying the live stream, so happy to jump on with you. I see everybody in here, a whole bunch of people from yesterday. What's up, everyone? Ivory, Jason, DW, Dennis, Ian, Jason again, Brillo, VP. What's up, everybody? Happy to have you in. Happy to have you in. What's that? That was pretty cool. What was that? That looks different. I don't think it usually looks like that. Anyway, happy to have you. Happy to have you, anybody. But yeah, what's up, Grubby? Welcome in, everybody. So yeah, so anyway, Grubby from the school. What's up, homie? But yeah, so let me give you the tea, okay? Let me give you a little bit of the drama, okay? So there's been a little bit of political drama over the last 12 hours or so, roughly. And it's first of all started stemming from some rumors that were circulating over the last couple days, or like the last week. So there were a bunch of rumors kind of circulating around Twitter and Instagram, as they do, basically saying that Trump was like dying, like he was in like terrible health. He had bruises on his hands, and they found like a picture of him, and he had some sort of like weird little bump on his face or something, like a little knot. Little droopage. But everybody basically started speculating that like, hey, like Donald Trump's gonna die, basically, which I was like, what the hell? And then yesterday, the White House comes out with like this post that's like 11 life lessons from Donald Trump. And okay, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't particularly believe the rumors that like something was happening to Trump, but when I saw that, I was like, that's weird timing. Like, that's weird time. Like that's a weird time to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, a lot of people were speculating like, oh snap, like they're saying he's dead, and they're gonna have which is crazy, but they're having like a big press conference tomorrow. A press conference tomorrow at 2 to announce that JD Vance is the new president. Now, mind you, I think this is all conspiracy theory, crazy shit, but the market seems to believe it. I'm actually seeing a lot of people who are exiting positions, a lot of people making moves. There's a lot going on as a result of this. So there's a lot of drama behind it. Now, the truth is, I think they're going to make some announcement that has something to do with the Defense Department, because that's what's really circulating among some of the more like well-established news outlets and stuff like that. But I guess we'll see. So I've been all for the drama. Reading Twitter this morning was actually pretty damn fun. There was a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on there. So there's drama there. There's also some drama over in the world of tariffs. That's not what I meant to click. Here we go. So Trump actually did come out. This was yesterday, by the way, I guess, when he was dead. And he warns of economic chaos from loss of tariffs. So it says the president and his advisors have suggested they will fight a federal appeals court ruling that found many of the administration's tariffs to be illegal. So there was a federal ruling that some of the tariffs that were being implemented by Trump, not some, but like most of them were like illegal and they can't happen. And so obviously as a result of that, a lot of people are like, oh snap, like what sort of uncertainty does this place on the market? And then Trump comes out and says like, we're going to fight it. And so what this does is that it starts to create uncertainty. And that's all it is. Like at the end of the day, does this matter? No, like it's all just bullshit if we're going to be honest. But it creates uncertainty. It creates an environment where no one really knows what's going to happen. And that could have domino effects that could negatively impact the crypto market. For example, let's say, for example, Trump comes out and says, we're going to fight this, like we're going to make it worse. Like Trump says that the tariffs that they're going to put in place are going to be even crazier than they were supposed to be in the beginning. Well, guess what? Jerome Powell and the Fed, who are supposed to be possibly cutting interest rates over the next week or week and a half or something like that, they might come out and say, well, look, there's uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen with tariffs, so we're not cutting interest rates until we find that out, right? And so it starts to create these spiral rabbit hole, stupid ass moments here in the world where people just don't know what's going on. There's just chaos. People are freaking out. Some people are happy. Some people are mad. Some are sad, whatever it may be. And again, that overall distribution of uncertainty will cause a moment where some things are pumping, some things are dumping, and it's all over the place, right? And so that's kind of where we are in the market today. And you can start to kind of see that playing out across the market. For example, like if we go look at BTC or BTC, I almost said BTCC, shout out BCCC, but anyway, that's making a noise. I'm gonna have to turn that off in a second. But like you can see, like the crypto market's actually doing pretty decent today. I mean, look at bubbles, right? Pump, Skyform, BCH Maker, and many more, all actually looking pretty dang good. But when you look at the stock market is down 1%. Now, if you don't know anything about the stock market, a 1% red day is like a pretty substantial day. Like that's a pretty red day. And so like you see the stock market crashing. No, it's not crashing. That was a little bit dramatic. The stock market falling. You're seeing the crypto market climbing. The crypto market climbing, being led up by like microcaps, which is also weird. It's a lot of weird shit. But at the end of the day, remember, do you remember I said 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I said September is going to be chaos. There's going to be chaos. It's going to be volatile. You're going to see pumps. You're going to see dumps. You're going to see liquidations all over the place. I said this 3 days ago. And look, just 2 days later, now we got the stock market falling, crypto pumping, being led up by microcaps while some of your other altcoins are doing well. I mean, it's just it's just ludicrous. Like what we're seeing in the market is ludicrous. And so I just wanted to jump on stream today. It's kind of hard to make videos in moments like this, to be honest, because I could make a video talking about what's happening in the market right now. And then 5 hours from now, the market looks completely different. You know what I mean? And so that's why I do prefer to do some live streams and stuff. And again, someone just said, I mean, Jason said it perfectly. Just 2 days into September and you can just see the manipulation. Yeah, it's already starting. Go look at liquidation maps. I mean, look at this bullshit. Watch this. Okay, first thing I need to do is actually go in and mute the Discord because it's going crazy. Discord's always going crazy. Always going crazy. Output volume. There we go. Okay. Anyway. Shout out to Black Hole dropping in a 204% gainer just then. What was I just about to do? Oh yeah, liquidation map. So yeah, let's go look at this. So, no. I want to go liquidation history. Look at this. Watch. Look at this. It's already picking up. Yesterday, we saw over $1 billion. What is that? Or $500 million, I meant, and worth of liquidations just yesterday when the market really didn't do much. And then today, we're already pushing up towards 250 million worth of liquidations, and we're only at like 12 o'clock, and the market's really not gone anywhere. Like Bitcoin's barely made a move. Like these liquidations obviously are not peaking yet, but you can already start to smell it. You can smell that lizard stank that's starting to enter into the market already. And then you look at the one-day liquidation map and you can start to see it playing out, right? Look at all these liquidations picking up to the bottom side. We just liquidated all the ones that we talked about in yesterday's video. And I actually told you that in yesterday's live stream. I said, listen, whenever I did that live stream, there was still a lot of liquidations to the top side. And I was like, guys, listen, we might see this market just run up a little bit, liquidate all these people, and then maybe even pull back to try to liquidate all these people to the downside as they gain in confidence. And I mean, that is kind of playing out right now. And so all in all, the drama that you need to be paying attention to right now is that there's a lot of chaos in the market. Not only sparked by, of course, what we're seeing from tariffs, but also sparked by these crazy rumors that we're getting about Trump's health. Also sparked by, of course, the possible interest rate cuts or a possible no interest rate cut that we are expecting over the next week or so. I am curious to see. What the CME group is looking like. So the cut is in 15 days. Damn, bro. It's at a 91% likelihood of an interest rate cut coming. I mean, there's just so much going on here. And I mean, that is a part of the reason why we did kind of reduce leverage and de-risk a little bit, because I mean, this is all just madness, to be honest. So yeah, anyway, so it's been a bit of madness in the market over the last like 12 hours or so, and that is definitely impacting crypto. Crypto pumps, the stock market pulls back. I mean, this is just all weirdness, to be honest. So anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now. What we are going to do first and foremost to kick off this stream is we are going to watch the Oval Office announcement. I just want to see if Trump's, like there and alive. He obviously is going to be, but people just believe he won't be. So we're going to check that out. If it is kind of boring, we're not going to watch it, to be honest. Like, I'll just watch a little bit of it. I just wanted to see if there's any validity to these crazy-ass claims that have been getting thrown around Twitter today. So we'll check that out. We're going to do some analysis. We'll check out the market. I'm going to shill some stuff. Call it a day, probably. Anyway, what up, everybody? Tyler seems totally wired. I've been awake for 7 hours straight, just grinding, dude. Oh, grinding. Yeah, shout out to y'all. Smash that like button. Slap the like button, people. Vance is gonna be sitting on the throne. He's gonna come out like the Emperor in Star Wars after the lightning. Hey, what y'all think about the setup? By the way, the stream starts in 3 minutes, so I'm just gonna kind of chat and yap until then. What y'all think about the setup? I know it looks a little bit different. I got the blue light. I turned off one of the orange lights. I kind of readjusted the pictures, got this recentered, put the plan a little higher. Does this look good? What y'all think? How's this? How's this? All right. Setup is fire. Hell yeah, appreciate it. Cool. Cool. Oh, fishy, what you doing? Cool. All right, let's tune into this then. Appreciate it, y'all. Appreciate it. Also, just had my favorite breakfast in the whole world today, so it always puts me in a good mood. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, there's something I have to do. I have to go here, and I have to open this tab over here. Bang, bang. Cool. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. That should go live in like 2 minutes. I'll update you. What's the Bentley poster? What's that Bentley poster about? Looks fire. I love Bentleys. So I got a poster of a Bentley. Yeah, and then it's one of my favorite watches right here. So yeah, anyway. The background missing a Lambo. Appreciate it. Damn, everybody. Thank you. Cool. Well, good to know. I guess this is the setup from now on then. Cool. All right. Yeah, we're supposed to get this live stream started here. A little Trump live stream action in a little bit. See what's going on. Fire like them braids. I hope you mean them braids. You need to put the MMA gloves somewhere in the shot. That's a good point. I have no evidence that. Oh, guys, I have a fight coming up. By the way, I have a professional fight coming up again. I know I told you guys I wasn't going to fight again, but I got the itch. I'll tell you about it later, though. Let's see. Live stream's supposed to start in a minute. Drink your water. I'll ban you. Clean out the chat. Not even lying. Do. Are you talking about like my total net worth portfolio, my crypto portfolio, my investment portfolio? What portfolio? Fighting against the bears, exactly. I am indeed a professional fighter. Surprise. Many here since 2021. This is the best setup. Congrats. Oh, well, shout out to you. Much appreciated. I definitely do agree. I feel like it looks pretty sweet. 4 liters a day every day. Now that's a good water drinking habit. There you go. Why keep your health we need you? I know. KW versus Tyler. What up, homies? Bro, you need a small lizard figurine. I know. Someone send me one. That'd be great. All right. This is supposed to have started. Nothing yet. Let me go just double check on Twitter to see if I'm missing anything. It's usually on the whitehouse.gov website, right? That's what I usually put on stream. Let's see. Oval Office announcement. What's going on? I ain't clicking that link. No thanks. Doom. Maybe Fox has it. It probably just hasn't started yet, but. No. Announcement still isn't live. Okay, cool. What if that comment will hit us? That'd be pretty fucking annoying. I have stuff to do, bro. Yeah, so we're just hanging out right now. I'm just waiting for this announcement from the Oval Office just to make sure Trump's alive, since for some reason everyone thinks he's dying. Dude, my arm hurts so bad, bro. Maybe let me go check. What the hell was that? Okay. Let me go check Fox's YouTube channel. Well, why don't we just do this? Matter of fact. While waiting, smash the like button. I agree. Give it a little schmackaroo, eh? AP News. Imagine it's like JD Vance. I am the president of the United States now. Bro declares war on someone. What y'all up to today? Just hope that he doesn't announce anything that will crash crypto while many countries' leaders is having fun at China now. Hasn't started yet, but they are the best. Word. Go Skyrock. Maybe so. Being rejected from McDonald's is mad wild. Who said that? What? Why does it say altcoins pump? Because they're pumping. I wouldn't mind if JD Vance became president. I mean, me neither. Pump World Liberty Financial. Yeah, they need something. They need some help because, boy, World Liberty Financial is not looking good. Tyler's an OG for streaming this live for us. I always like coming hang out on live. I know I don't get to a lot whenever I'm traveling, but whenever I'm at home, I like to get on live with y'all. My only hope for meme coins. Why? Hit the like button, fam. Facts. I really need ADA to pump. Don't hold your breath, homie. Will crypto pump now? How much ADA are you in? Like, what percentage of your bag is in ADA? Will crypto pump now? I guess we'll find out. I lost 10 Solana on meme coins, have no money left to my name. Let the market snook. Hey, Gerard, well, don't wish the worst on the rest of us. Gerard, if you screenshot, you lost 10 Solana on meme coins. How did you go all in on meme coins and just lost all of it? Imagine he pumps World Liberty Financial. I hope he does dump crypto. I'm shorting LOL, not looking so good. Well, I just got back from the gym, Tyler, about to just do some research, study, and work later. Yes, sir. A little gym sesh. Hey, what car is that, Jason? It's not a Tesla, is it? I don't have good vision. McDonald's can be impressive. Where does your saying of shaking tomatoes cans come from? I don't know, to be honest. Whenever I imagine somebody excited, I just imagine them like in the streets of Europe on a balcony somewhere just shaking some tomato cans, dog. JD has no experience to be president, but he has experience to be vice president. That's a take. Probably given Gianni the Medal of Freedom. What's the take on AI 16s? I still have a little bit of it. I just don't care about it. What do you think about BMX? I like it. They're going to come out and lick their eyes. Dude, I'd fucking lose my mind. If my channel didn't blow up after the president was exposed for being a lizard person, I'd actually delete it. Space Command, bro. Trump's going to the moon with his bags. Bro, just leaves. Huh? Meme coins pump the most, right? I mean, they can. Why am I looking at red candles? Market assuming that Donald J. Trump is dead, I think. Is it dumping? I mean, did it just fall? No, it's not. Market's green today, brother. If that headline is right, then the press conference is a joke. Wait, what? Trump announces Space Command is moving from Colorado to Alabama. I didn't even notice that. Yo, that would actually be jokes. Everyone's like, Trump's dead. And he's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to move that building over from there to over there. All right, bye. It's worth the watch, though, why not? Nope. That is true. I guess except for like Trump, who got president this time because he was already president. Got like 3.3% ADA. That's not too bad. JD Vance is a shill for Plantier. He's a phony man. Do your own research, just like with crypto. Well, hey, 10% of my bags in ADA. Nice. 50% ADA, 50% Crow. What's up, Patrick? I knew I recognized that name. Market dumps when Trump opens his mouth. Sometimes. Solana ETF soon. I have 400 sold. Ooh, give me some. What's up? I don't give a shit what they say as long as it triggers an alt season. They can say Russia's about to bomb as long as alt started. God candles. I just hope I'm allowed to spend it. Two wings of the same bird. Hell yeah. 20% AVAX. Only pump fund is pumping. The rest been dumping. Bro, Alex, no, you're just wrong. Hold on. Alex, you keep saying that the market's not up. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm so confused. Form, Sky, MKR, ENA, BCH, they're up anywhere from 8 to 14%. Like, not all alts are pumping, but some are definitely up. I don't understand. I don't understand. I just love how I just keep exiting the screen. We're 8 minutes late now. I'm starting to get a little impatient. Do you have like 80% of your portfolio in AI16s or something? It seems like it, right? Anyone buying gold? Who was buying gold yesterday? Who was that? One of y'all on stream was buying gold. I can't remember who that was. WikiCat would do. If you saw my Coinbase account on all the Solana I bought, you would cry. Dude. Like this new layout for messages, Tyler. Appreciate it. I know there's a couple different ones. I think there's a couple ways you can do this, right? It's like that, and it's like that. There's like that. Then there's like that. What do y'all think? All right. Hey, listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick one. I kind of like 4. 4's kind of fire. 1, 2, 3, 4. What y'all think? Two, 1. Oh, shit. 2, 1, 1, 4, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. 2 is kind of like crushing me. Somebody said 6 for the funsies. Oh, see, I like this one. Okay. Our shot said 69. Ladies and gentlemen, time to open those 100x fart coin bags. Why not? Fart coin longs. Oh, I want to do some analysis, dude. We've been sitting here waiting for so long. Ugh. I bought a little more gold today, actually. Hey, while we're waiting, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram. Go like my new post. I think today's just going to be a hangout stream, really. Like, I'm not sure that anything super productive is going to come from today's stream. I really just wanted to jump on and kind of hang out. So hopefully you guys are down for that. What if the camera just panned and it was Donald Trump slumped over? That would be, yo, Jesus Christ. No, Tyler, don't roast me, but it is a Tesla. I love Tesla. If I could afford a Lotus or Bentley, maybe one day till then. No, ain't nothing wrong with Tesla. I hate people who hate Teslas. Oh, God. Like, I don't like sitting in a Tesla when I'm in the back of an Uber because Tesla drivers actually drive like fucking psychopaths. But outside of that, I like a Tesla. I can get behind a Tesla. The bad boy just drive you where you're going to go. Ain't too mad at that. One works the best with your screen layouts. What's one again? I kind of agree. This is what it used to be. I definitely don't like this. I'm kind of feeling, yo, profile picture's crazy, bro. I'm kind of liking this one. Let's go to this one. Is anything about World Liberty Trump meme coin in your portfolio? No. I don't hate Teslas. I just hate EVs. See, that's more of a valid take. Noti Gang manager clocked in, ready to serve duty. Lock in. Just yo, bro, what does that say? Just fart aggressively? Yeah, I like his profile pic. You're off, Arshad. Pump or dump, choose one. Pump. The ask you talking every time you swap between. Was it really? Oh, wait, I can't do it now. Yeah, that icon. That's what I'm saying. Crazy PFP. Yes, this layout saves some space. Or I'm not doing anything big or higher leverage as Tyler advised. That's a good idea. I bought silver and platinum a long time ago. Got silver at $14. What's silver at now? Thoughts on Velo? No thoughts on Velo. Colonel Dow thoughts. I haven't looked into that one. Who? I think Cade mentioned something about them to me the other day. I haven't looked at them though. Shout out to Cade. Do you notice that every September Bitcoin dominance reverses? Is that true? Let's go look. By the way, if you just joined the stream, we're just waiting to see what sort of announcement we're about to get from old Tronald, old Donald J. Trump. Probably something about the defense. No one really cares, huh? Every September, it reverses. Yeah, it kind of reversed a little upwards that time, didn't it? What about this time? It kind of didn't really reverse though in last year. Yeah, y'all are nuts, bro. Y'all are off, bro. Is my 110x long on Sol and Crow? Oh my goodness. How much leverage? What do you mean? Platinum is behind for sure. Gold's gotten crazy high. Facts. Announcement is just going to be about FIFA, imagine. What wallet do you use? Why do you want to know? Huh? I use a bunch. Tangem, Ledger. I have a bunch. I actually have a bunch, and they're all like scattered all over the place. Well, I guess we're just going to do 29 minutes of hanging out before anything productive happens. Whoop. True, it reverses every September and post-halving years. Oh, okay. I'll go look at that in a second. I am all in on Render, AVAX, Near, AI16s, OXO, and Desync. What about Bitcoin, dude? Have you seen Y-Files at all, Tyler? You love Hecklefish. He talks about the lizards. I heard about Y-Files. Maybe that's where lizard people came from. I honestly don't know why I started saying lizard people, but it kind of was just like, yeah, that makes sense. What do you think about Ether Network? I like it. It's all right. They'll love it. They'll hate it. Pump was a fake out. Very possible. We've got the best missile system on the moon. We've never seen anything like it. Prove it. Has any presidential announcement ever not been 20 minutes late? I have no idea. ETH USD 15K this no. Check out Wiki Catcoin. Oh goodness. Wake me up when September ends. I feel that. What if it pumps though, huh? What's your thoughts on Honest Coin? I need it to pump so bad. I haven't looked at Honest Coin in so long. I forgot about it. Like I forgot that even exists. Harry, you're off. WikiCat. Do you think 59 was the top for Jasmine this cycle? Jasmine. 59.059. Nah, I wouldn't say so. It looks like it's coming back down. Flip R to S, little RS flip, maybe a little push back up. I think Jasmine, if it can really catch some steam, I think Jasmine pushing up towards like 9 or 10 cents is reasonable. I don't think so. Is it time to buy? Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to buy a little bit. While silver's the highest been in like 13 years. Neat. How much leverage on your long bads when you talk about DCA? Like 10x. Like 10x leverage at most right now. Anyways, I've had horrible luck in crypto. It's been a trader's haven. Holding has been painful. Yeah. I mean, that's reasonable. Trump fell in bathroom. Hell yeah, probably. I broke a 400 year. Wait, I missed this. My bad. Can you speak to the fart coin price action? Yeah, just remind me in a little bit. We'll look at fart coin. Shout out to Trevor E. All love, homie. Todd just exposing lizard people licking their eyeballs. Hey, it's not my fault. Does the halving matter since they started buying more than his mind? Yes, it does still matter. Sold at $500. Yeah, I think one day it's reasonable. All right. Let's relax what WikiCat play is. Trump waiting 20 plus minutes to start his press conference as a power play. Twitter rumors Trump fell in bathroom. What are your thoughts on SPX 6900? I don't really know much about it, so I can't give an actual opinion without it just being kind of bullshit. Buy right now or wait after the conference. How about you stop basing your purchases based on events that are irrelevant to the actual value of crypto? What's your price target for ETH? Probably like $9,000, $8,000. I think short time price target, or midterm, is probably $6,500. I think long term, $8,000 and $9,000 makes sense. I don't think we're going to touch 10K because everyone's going to say we will. When do you think altcoin season will start? I think we're already in a version of an altcoin season. When Vine? I don't know what you mean. XEN is an economic ninja pump and dump. As per Forbes, Trump appearing in public today for the first time in a week amid death rumors. Hope it's something positive and not something scary. Facts. Thoughts on Prime? I bought that way too heavily. I don't know. Twitter's blasting tweets about Trump. Is it actually? Don't make me go look at this. Okay, Jim. Oh my god, y'all are nutty. They have to weekend at Bernie's real quick. Hey, facts. How are you investing a 10K portfolio? 7K Bitcoin, 1,000 ETH, 500 across Solana and XRP, and 1,000 across dumb shit that might make you rich. Sure, the market is up, but alts in general are mostly still down over a bigger time period. Still nothing to be excited about, in my opinion. Teach their own. All right, WikiCat guys, let's relax. I don't want to start dropping these mutes. What are we waiting on? I just came in the room. There's supposed to be some sort of live stream with Trump. People are speculating he's like dying and stuff, and I think it's fucking nonsense, but I'm curious. So we're gonna watch that and then do some stuff. We're really just hanging out. Are you guys cool with this? Y'all enjoying this? How y'all feel about just kind of hanging out? There's 700 of y'all just hanging out in here right now, real quick. So if your loved ones are falling in the bathroom, get a walk-in tub. Trump supports this. Alrighty, well, I guess we're gonna have to start muting some folks. Sorry about it. I'm cooling. Anyone who mentions WikiCat is getting muted. Sorry. I don't know. I'm gonna go call him real quick. Just joking. Hopefully, it was supposed to be 18 minutes ago, so I guess we'll wait and find out. Unmute me, bro. I'm a chill. You're unmuted. If you're live, we live. Oh, baby. Well, they dragged Biden around the weekend at Bernie's for 4 years. They have it out. Should I liquidate my 401k and buy? No, you should not. Yes, that is financial advice. Do not do that. Realistically, how much do you think every coin will do in the market during the end of alt season? They'll usually do a couple X's. I think this is going to be in a bit of a smaller altcoin euphoric period and phase than we saw in 2021. So I'm not expecting like anything too crazy. I am fighting December 5th. December 5th, folks. Have you seen gold and silver? Yeah, it's kind of pumping, eh? Eh? Tyler, are you still buying that? No, not really. Not new right now. We'll still get to 175 before we pump to the moon. What's it at right now? 200. Little 200 ball real quick. It could. If it breaks to the bottom side of that ascending triangle, it probably will, to be fair. Yeah. Hey, mayonnaise. What's happening? Doing good, XR Render. What's up? Been a minute. How you doing? Yo, y'all, you WikiCat people are kind of annoying. Not gonna lie. I'm a new trader. What should I do right now, bro? Not much, I would say. Let this interest rate stuff figure out. You talking about trading and all of that? I watched a recent video. You playing with $40 short and shit, man. That's burger money. Digital assets. I love people. Look, let me kind of give you the attention you want right now. So the funniest part is that people like digital assets will have an opinion. And I always wonder how you can formulate opinion when you have no ability to hear or read. It's like you're missing two pretty important things in life. Like I think humans should in general be able to read. I think humans in general should be able to use their eardrums as well. And it's funny, right? Because in that video I said I'm taking profit off of my Solana long or my Solana long-term buy, right? I said I'm going to take $850 of profit off the table. I'm going to take 10% of that, and I'm just going to throw it into a short trade on Solana for funsies. Just see what happens. And I've kept you updated how the little fun trade goes, right? And then there's morons, right? Like digital assets, who will come out and be like, bro, you're only trading $40, bro. That's breadcrumbs. I'm like, oh, so you're deaf. God. Shout out to you, digital assets. We were all born without the ability to understand anything also. Where you getting burgers at, G? Where you getting burgers at for 40 bones? Love and happiness. What up, Crypto Carpenter? Nah, nothing right now. We're just waiting on this little Trump announcement. I'm gonna really click off of this in a second here. Like, I'm gonna just jump into the analysis in a second. I'm literally on a 100K long position. You're here trading $40 and you have 100K followers. BS. Digital assets. I mean this with the bottom of my heart. Like genuinely the bottom of my heart. There's no one who cares. Like, not one person here cares. Like, not one. I ain't gonna lie. No one cares, bro. I have a tiny. The funniest part is I addressed it. I said it's a tiny short trade. It's a fun trade, right? And Digital says, I'm literally on a 100K long position. Addin, you're here trading with $40 and you have 100K followers. That's bullshit. No one cares, bro. Stop drooling all over my comment section, bro. This is BS. Let me go live with you and teach you. Come on. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. That's a fantastic idea. Okay, digital assets, screenshot this chat right now so I can see it's you. Send me an email, Tyler Hill Investing, or send me one to my, no, that's fine, tylerhillinvesting@gmail.com. Send me an email. I'm going to send you a link to StreamYard. You're going to come on the stream right now and you're going to give a seminar on trading. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. I think that's a great idea. Put a 1 in the chat if you're open to it. I'm cool with it. We're going to be on here for 2 hours anyway. Who cares? Digital assets, send it to my email right now. Jump on. Here we go. If you're open to it, put a 1 in the chat just for funsies. I'm curious. I'm curious. Oh, look. Here we go. Here we go. One. No. All right, digital assets. Send me an email again. Just screenshot it. Send it over right now. Jump in. But I will say this. If you don't do it, I'm going to ban you from the chat. So you get to choose. Hey, the people spoke, G. The people spoke, dog. Come on. Like now we're at a spot. Look, I got all the Donald Trump's going to take at least another 45 minutes to make it to the podium. So we got more than time. We got more than enough time right now. All right. We can leave we can stop with the ones. Here we go. Digital assets, you have 3 minutes to send it to me or I'll ban you from the chat. Yo, what's going on with Trump, bro? This is actually annoying. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm just having some fun with the chat for now, but this is actually annoying. Why are we not, like, this needs to hurry up. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? He's not talking anymore. Maybe he's sending it to me. Check out Wi-Fi's. All right, bet. Yeah, I will. Okay, maybe he sent me an email. Hold on, let's see. Leisure Fish, you can come on the live stream whenever you want. I'm checking my email. Nothing yet. No, digital assets. Send me the email, dog. Send me the email. I'm gonna send you the link. No. No more crawfishing. In Louisiana, we call it crawfishing. When somebody has like something to say. You ever seen a lobster swim, how they go backwards? It's called crawfishing. You got 1 minute, digital assets. I'm joking. I never ban you, dog. I think we all just need a little bit of entertainment these days. All right, let's do some analysis. This shit's boring. I'll update y'all if he starts the stream. I'm done waiting. We've literally been waiting for like 40 minutes now. How would I make sure I can see it if it pops up? Let's do like this and then like that. Okay, cool. All right. Let's do this. I'm gonna piss digital assets off and I'm immediately gonna start shilling exchange links. Okay, let's do a little bit of analysis. Let's kind of just see what's going on here. I'll update y'all if the yeah, keep an eye on the stream too. Let me know if they go live, just start spamming it. I'll look. But yeah, I'm just tired of waiting around. So let's start with I'll start with Bitcoin. Okay, let's go start with Bitcoin and then we'll work itself. We'll work down. Oh, digital assets has sent the email. Let's do it. Okay. But you have to show us a 100K long trade. That's like a rule. I don't have anything, homie. Don't do this to me. Don't waste my time, dude. If you're gonna tell me you send the email, send the real email. Come on, man. Come on, man. Okay, I'll keep an eye on it though. You did not send me the email. My last email was 11:46 a.m. from someone named Margarita Zaliatinova about an affiliate partnership with fuck something crazy. Anyway, all right, I'll look in a little bit. Okay, so okay. So whenever we've been looking at Bitcoin recently, what I've told you all is that Bitcoin did break structure, right? So we obviously had the ascending structure here. I said, look, Bitcoin is clearly starting to break structure. This isn't like a freak out moment, but it definitely means that things are changing and that this little run that we had been on from April all the way up to August was coming to an end. Like this little move upwards, this little three-wave move upwards, it was coming to an end, okay? And I said, listen, you need to be watching very closely because as this starts to break down, it's going to have to make a big decision. And the decision goes like this. We're either going to say Bitcoin's price, find the higher low on top of one of these macro levels of liquidity, sweep that low and continue upwards, or it's just going to lose out on all of these support levels and probably enter into a bear market. I think that's the only two reasonable options that are going to happen right here because the truth is that if Bitcoin loses, I mean, if we see this bad boy falling below 82K, guys, I mean, that's just not good. And technically, I mean, it could come all the way back down to say 75K and then bounce, and this would still be, trending, and we could be in some sort of uptrend. But at the end of the day, it's like Bitcoin coming back to $75,000. Like it would be a little bit hard for it to recover from that and then immediately be able to push back up to like 150, right? And so I told you all what my game plan is. I said, listen, the primary goal that I have right now is that I'm just going to go in, I'm going to lay out my macro zones of support, and I'm going to be doing accumulations at each one of these, at each one of these key levels of support. So I told you what they were. I said the first zone is 110 to 106K or 111 to 106K. The second one being $98,000. The third one being $90,000 to $82,000. And this is zone number 1, number 2, and number 3. And I said what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and dollar cost average Bitcoin at each one of these key zones, expecting/hoping that the bulls will step in and try to push the price upwards. Okay. And so 1 second. Just going to mute anybody who is... Hey, anybody who's talking about WikiCat, just mute them. So as we can see here again, what we can see is that we are getting a bit of a bounce here, and this is actually a good sign. And I think this is what I'm going to make a video about later today. Although Bitcoin might literally just nuke through this key zone of support, like it might fall straight down to $98,000. At the end of the day, this is a good thing. The fact that we are starting to see the bulls sort of step in right here, especially over the last 2 days. And the reason I say that is because it does confirm that Bitcoin is looking to sweep into a support zone right now, right? Because oftentimes when bear markets start, what happened is that Bitcoin's not looking to sweep liquidity. It's literally just dropping. So what would happen in a bad situation is that Bitcoin would just do this. There's no signs of life. Nothing good happens at these liquidity levels. It literally just dies straight through it. But when Bitcoin's price is capable of coming down to these key support levels and the bulls step in to try to push the price up, it's a good sign and it's a good signal that, again, you're just coming down to sweep the liquidity and then try to continue back to the upside. The question always just remains, well, when is that real bounce going to happen? Is it here? Does it maybe do this and then come back here? No one really knows. And that's just the game that we play. And look, I don't try to time that. I don't try to play that game. I'm not trying to make a big guess as to when that's going to happen. I just kind of stick to a very simple strategy, which is I'll buy a little bit here, I'll buy more here, and I'll buy more here. And the reason why I'd be doing more and more purchases the lower that we get is because the lower we go, the more likely it is that Bitcoin will try to make that run to the upside up to a certain point. I think as long as Bitcoin's above this previous zone right here, I think we're in a good spot. The second we would say fall below $82,000, that is when I think things would get a little bit more concerning for me. And that's the point where I would start to kind of shift my opinion around. Okay. And so with that in mind, what we're actually seeing from Bitcoin today is a good sign. And it might not last, guys. I'm not going to lie, right? Like this, somebody mentioned in the chat earlier, like this could just be a fake pump that's going to lead us straight to another dump. And I think that is a reasonable assumption to make, right? You go look at the liquidation map. We may have to go a little bit higher to finish out these guys, but now there's over $3 billion in liquidation sitting directly below us at this point. And so knowing that there are liquidations below us and knowing that the market is still in a very, very uncertain period here right now because of interest rates, inflation, Donald Trump, all this stuff. Yeah, there is a world in which we see this bad boy get rejected. But at the end of the day, the fact that we were able to see the RSI reverse here, the fact that we were able to see the full swing from the bottom side to the top side of the Bollinger Bands twice now we've been in this zone. Now that we've been able to see the volume pick up a little bit while we were in this zone, as you can see right here, it's all a very good sign and signal to say that these zones of support that we're looking to hold are trying to hold. And that's what we want to see. Because as time goes on, these bears are going to run out of juice, right? The bears who are forcing the market downwards, the lower we get, the harder it's going to be for them to hold that price down, because we are in a market that intrinsically wants to go upwards, right? And so the bull stepping in and putting in these fights and these battles is only going to slow them down even more and make it even harder for these bears to get the price down. That's why the daily RSI, for example, is all the way back at 37. Although the price was falling, I mean, this RSI reset really quickly, and look at all this room of opportunity to the upside. Guys, the last time we were this low was back here, right before we saw, I would say actually it was this, then before that it was this, and before that it was this. The times where we come this low on the RSI are historically followed by some good bullish periods, and that simply just means that these indicators are being reset because the bulls are stepping in and slowing down that bearish momentum. And so all in all, although again this may not last long, this is a great sign for Bitcoin, and I do think that it will put us in a position where I am even more comfortable entering on these buys even when the market's going down, right? Whenever we see a moment where the market, say, gives us a little bit of bounce but it goes down, I'm willing to stick to my strategy. I'm willing to accumulate some Bitcoin here at, say, 98K or 90K or 82K, because the bulls are giving us those signs that we're looking for, right? And you guys know, look, I'm a person where I'm pretty confident. I don't think the bull market's over. I still think Bitcoin's going to all-time high. I think ETH is going to eventually finally crack that all-time high. I think many altcoins that have been delayed are going to push up towards their all-time highs. I do think there are still gains in front of us here, especially if we do enter into a period in which economic policy allows for a lightening up of the pressure that's been placed on businesses and consumers. I think we're going to be in a great spot. I think as there's more clarity around tariffs, I think there's more clarity around interest rates, as I mentioned before. I think as geopolitical events start to kind of simmer down a little bit, I think all of these things are going to put risk on assets in an environment in which they can flourish. We're just not there quite yet. And so the way that I see it is, listen, the crypto market is breaking down a little bit. Bitcoin is breaking down a little bit. But although that is the case, we're getting many signs that we easily at some point could use this support that we're establishing to continue towards the upside and push back up towards some of these higher levels up here, okay? And so with that in mind, that's kind of where I am with Bitcoin. And the craziest part is that when I look at ETH is actually in a better predicament than Bitcoin is. So when I look at Ethereum's actually holding up better. And that is, not weird, I wouldn't say, but it is interesting to say the least. And the reason why I say that it's holding up better is simply just because it is. If you look at ETH in comparison to Bitcoin, ETH, for example, is still above its August 20th high. You look at Bitcoin in that August 20th high, which would have been right over here. Whenever we had that little pump right here, or that August 20th low, my bad. We had the August 20th low right here. We've created the lower low. You look at ETH, it had that August 20th low. We're creating that higher low. Boom. I mean, we're in a situation where ETH is performing in terms of percentage gains better than Bitcoin is. And I find that to be incredibly interesting. And that does only just add fuel to my fire. That only adds fuel to my fire because bear markets starting are not usually highlighted by, is that the word? Usually whenever a bear market starts, right, which some people are screaming that the bear market's here, but a bear market starting usually isn't indicated by Bitcoin performing bad and ETH holding up well, or alts holding up well, or Bitcoin dominance going down on the macro, right? Like that's not what that looks like. It usually is the complete opposite as people flock to safety. And so when I look at something like Ethereum, I'm like, yeah, ETH might, want to pull back into the green zone. Yeah, ETH might fall back below $4,000. It might start to break back to the downside. But again, it's another one where I just believe that even if that is the case, I think it's going to try to find some support, and I think it's going to try to make a run. I think at some point ETH is going to break $5,000. I think we are going to see an all-time high for ETH enter into the market. The question is what does it take for us to get there? Because I'm not going to pretend, right? Like I am kind of paying attention to the idea that, ETH could be creating something that looks like this, right? Boom. Like I could see this. I could definitely see that, especially if it gets a little bit of a bounce. And that would entail that some sort of pullback towards, say, 3,700, 3,600, 3,500. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that that could be the case. We could see a bit of a move back to the downside, but I still believe that under the right environment and under the right ecosystem, or the right environment with the market, I think we could be in a good spot to see a bit of a rally towards the upside. And so all of these things combined, it's just, I'm in a situation where it's like, I think the market's going to rally. The question is, does it rally now, right? Does Bitcoin try to find that support and try to rally now? Or do we need to see a couple more shakeouts to the downside, get some of those long traders out the picture, and then continue the rally upwards? That's really the question here. In my opinion, it's not so much will ETH rally, it's when will ETH rally. Will it give us this or will it give us this? I think that's what a lot of people are trying to figure out, myself included, and we get to just kind of play the game. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at with Bitcoin and ETH. And so the way that that's impacting the altcoin market, we will talk about in a second. I do want to kind of check in real quick and see what's going on with this Trump stuff. Okay. What? Oh, is digital asset still begging for attention because he just got attention for the first time in his entire life? Good for him. I'm proud of you, kiddo. How do we? Let's see. Let's go to maybe Twitter. Let's see if we can find some info on this Trump stuff. Latest. Oh god, get me out of there. Yeah, not really seeing anything right now. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why it hasn't started yet, but whatever. We'll keep the ball rolling. So let me just kind of rapid fire some TA on some of our alts. So XRP, XRP is at a pretty interesting spot to say the least. What we were previously tracking was this move from XRP, but I told you if it loses this green line, which it does sometimes, right? So it'll try to create these bullish pennants. If the macro environment in crypto is not in support of being able to see a push towards the upside, what XRP will usually do is it'll break through the bottom side of the pennant. It'll make everybody think it's about to nuke, but then what it'll actually do is it'll create like a descending structure like this and then use that to break back upwards. So this move right here to the downside actually liquidates all of the long traders, and then this move to the upside liquidates all the short traders who started betting it was going to go down. So if I'm looking at XRP right now, I actually do think that's kind of the situation that we're in. I think we're in that period right now where it's going to start trying to liquidate all those people who are betting that this bullish pennant was going to go up, make them think like, oh goodness, like it's not going to rally. This is a full breakout to the downside, but then it's going to try to give us a bit of a bounce off of this and maybe even break upwards. So for XRP, I've not lost any like morale. I still think we're in a pretty good spot. I think XRP, now if it doesn't break, say for example, if it doesn't find some support anywhere around here, that definitely would be a little bit more quote unquote concerning. I'd be pretty surprised about that. Now, and even that wouldn't really be the end of the day. Like, say if XRP's price wanted to come all the way back down towards some of these lower levels, I mean, there is a world in which it does start interacting back with like this ascending level of support that has held its price up before, and it easily could do a scooping low. They call these tsunami highs. Whenever I was learning trading from a guy, they call these tsunami highs because they look like a wave, like a big wave, wave crashes, big wave, wave crashes, and they'll typically ride these ascending levels of support. So I guess XRP could technically do this, maybe even a move through it and then push back upwards. So XRP is in such an advantageous position because it's performed so well that it has a ton of support below it, right? It has this resistance, it has this support, it has this liquidity right here, it has all of this liquidity from back here, it has all this liquidity right here, right? So XRP is in a very good spot, and it'll be very easy for it to find some support and continue upwards, even with the slightest bit of news. So for me, I actually am not all that concerned by XRP in my bag. Sure, it may pull back, sure, it could see a bit of a drop of, say, at worst case scenario, like another 20%. That's not really all that concerning to me. I still think it will be able to find some support and continue upwards, and that does kind of follow in alignment with the rest of my thesis of the crypto market, which is like, yeah, the crypto market might pull back a little bit, but I don't care. I'll just buy it. I'll buy key support levels because I think we're going to bounce and rally anyway. And what you'll come to notice is that's my entire thesis. Like, everything that I feel about the crypto market right now says, yeah, I could see a reason as to why this bad boy would pull back a little bit, but it wouldn't deter me. It wouldn't scare me. I'd be willing to accumulate there. And that's my primary plan right now is I'm putting some cash aside. I'm just stacking up some chips so that if the moment comes and I get the opportunity to buy, guess what? I'll just buy, you know? So let's see. Solana's definitely one I am still a little bit cautious about. Don't get me wrong. Whenever I look at Solana, I quite obviously can see this structure playing out here, this ascending structure. And I've always told you guys, this is something you always got to be concerned about in the short term. When these sorts of ascending structures happen, they have less than a 30% chance of breaking upwards. They are much more likely to break downwards and then try to go upwards. And so it's not that I think that Solana is just going to do this, right? I'm not in the same parade of people who are calling this a head and shoulders that are saying that Solana is about to go to 40 bucks. I am not in that party whatsoever, but I am in the party of people who are saying, listen, Solana's price may pull back out of this triangle back to say like 150 to 170 bucks, and then maybe try to use that as an opportunity to go upwards in a more sustainable way. So just be very careful with Solana right here. I definitely wouldn't be opening up any ginormous long trades. I wouldn't even be opening up any ginormous short trades. I'd be kind of just letting this bad boy play out and seeing how Solana does want to kind of handle this moment that it's having, which is very precarious. You definitely need to be a little bit careful right here. Solana is the one in the top 10 that I'm the most cautious of right right now because of this structure and because of the possible effects that it could have sometime soon. Okay. SWI. Looking at SWI, so, I mean, my opinion about SWI has pretty much been the same for quite some time now. And this is what we talked about yesterday. We were tracking this golden Fibonacci zone, and I said, listen, whenever we have a golden Fibonacci zone, say we swing to the low side, swing to the high side, we start pulling back to the golden zone, you just got to watch this gold box. If SWI was able to hold some support right here, I said that we would see a pullback back to 327. That's what happened. I said if we lose 327 and we keep trending downwards, we're probably heading back to 306. Guess what? Yesterday we got to 310, very close to that 306 mark. And if we lose 306, we're coming back down to 281. That's just where SWI is right now. And it is kind of in a bit of a breakdown mode. But at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me. It's not really all that concerning because if you really just zoom out, SWI is still in a totally fine spot. SWI is consolidating. It put in an all-time high this year. It tried to rally. It tried to recover. And now it's just doing this. And I think that SWI definitely could be in a situation where it'll try to maybe either pull back and then rally or just rally with the rest of the market. SWI's not giving me any inclination that the run is ending. I mean, this is consolidation. This is cool down. This is reset. This is allow your daily RSI to come back to the 30 level. This is allow your weekly RSI to kind of slowly trend back to around that 50 level and then open up the door of opportunity. Because look, guys, we were all the way up here. I mean, SWI's RSI on the weeklies was at 80 at one point. Then it was able to pull all the way back to the 39 level, and this little move right here, going back down, flipping this previous point of resistance into support, using that support to get higher. And I think if SWI's price is capable of starting to work its way back up and break through this golden zone once and for all, break through 427, guess what? SWI's probably going to give us a runner up to $7.50, up to $11. I think a move like that is very reasonable for SWI. And so again, it's not one that concerns me. These consolidatory slow down moments, these range bound moments don't scare me. They incentivize me because I feel like this is the market cooling down, and this is kind of the little relaxation the market needs before you get a run. The question is, before that run comes, do we see some sort of pullback first, or do we just run? I don't know. I'm personally leaning towards pullback first, then run for like ETH, XRP, and all of those, but obviously only time will tell. Okay. Let's see. Somebody said, isn't that a falling wedge that I'm seeing on the short term? I could see that. Let me see. It's not parallel, that's for sure. I didn't mean to do that. Let's see. I could kind of see it. So it's not a parallel one. Let me see if it's just more wedgy. Wedgy is crazy. It's an awkward one, that's for sure. I see this, though. I know what you're talking about here. I could kind of see something like that playing out. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that's within reason. And that's just another good sign, right? That's another good sign that even if, SWI does continue to trend downwards, say it comes back down to, say, $2.96. Yeah, maybe probably give you a little bit of a bounce and then a rally back towards the upside. I'm not scared, guys. Like, I don't know. I'm not feeling the concern that everyone's feeling. Let me know in the chat. Put a 1 if you're concerned about... Put a 1 in chat if you're concerned about the current state of the market. Put a 2 if you're neutral. Put a 3 if you're not concerned at all. I would say I'm balancing right in between neutral and not concerned. I don't really feel like the market's in a spot where it's scary. I just feel like it's boring, and people take that as being scary. Let me know how you guys are feeling there. Not concerned, neutral, not concerned, neutral, scared. For not concerned, a little bit scared. So I mean, it seems like most people right now are neutral slash not too concerned. Let's go look at, you know what I haven't looked at in a very long time? Let's go look at the fear and greed index. That's crazy, bro. I just don't see that. Like, I don't understand that. I don't know what everyone's so scared of right now. Like, how are we in fear right now? I would definitely say Bitcoin falling sub 80K would probably be the thing for me. Like, okay, that's probably a bear market starting. Only thing I'm concerned about is added problems for relocating to a different country if altcoin season happens next year. Yeah, I just don't feel it. I don't feel the sentiment. Like, I don't feel the concern. I don't feel the worry about all these positions. It's like, look what they're doing. It's like most positions have broken to the upside and are coming back down to find higher lows that they'll probably try to use to break to the upside. And say, for example, if Jerome Powell comes out and says, we're not cutting interest rates until next February, we'll pull back a little bit. But guess what? The market's going to factor that in, and it's going to front run that move again. We know interest rate cuts are going to happen at some point, and the market's trying to front run that one way or another. So if there's a short-term delay in that, sure, it might pull back. But I think that pump comes. Like, I think this market rallies. I think it does good. I think it does well. And I don't care. Like, there is a piece of me, I'm going to be honest, there's like a twisted piece of me that's like, let that thing dump. Like, if Bitcoin wants to come back to 90K or 98K, let it happen. I don't really care, because I think that's just even better opportunities going forward, especially with the amount of taking profit that we did, right? Like, you go look at my Bitcoin buy sell bubble sheet, which is a highlight of when we did any major purchases on Bitcoin or altcoins. And you can see, I mean, we were taking big profit off Bitcoin at 120K, big profit off Bitcoin at 122K. I mean, we were doing real big profit taking. And so we stuffed all this cash to the side and ready and put it aside to be willing to reinvest it if given the opportunity. And this just could be that opportunity. This could just be that opportunity. And so for me, I'm not too concerned about it. I mean, I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out. And look, I guess maybe I could be wrong. Maybe the bear market does start, but it's not confirmed yet. That I know I'm not wrong about. This little move is not the bear market having been confirmed yet by any means. I mean, let's just be honest, guys. Zoom out. Oh, BRB. Hold on. We got to go. Not BRB as if I'm closing it, but BRB, it's on.
Thank you very much. It's a very important day and an important announcement with great friends of mine. I think I can say this group is every one of them. I rate a 10. I can't always say that, even if they're Republicans, and these are Republicans, great Republicans. I want to thank you all for being here for this important announcement, 7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long period of time, and I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama, we love Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't, right? But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it, Huntsville in particular. So congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations. This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs, and probably much more than that, and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment, and that's billions, because it can't be millions, it's billions and billions of dollars. Most importantly, this decision will help America defend and dominate the high frontier, as they call it. I want to thank Secretary Pete Hegseth. He's doing a fantastic job, and Secretary of the Air Force Troy Mink. Troy, thank you very much. Great job you're doing, Troy. This is such a big deal. This is one that everybody wanted to know. What are you doing? I also want to thank Senators Katie Britt, and I want to give my condolences. Your grandmother, her grandmother just passed away. She was 100, right?
100, and she loves you, Mr. President.
Well, and she was very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Very, very proud of you. So thank you, Katie.
Wonderful woman.
She must have been. To produce you indirectly, I can tell you she had to be. Tommy Tuberville, who's a great coach. And I won't say anything about what happened with Alabama football this weekend.
Let's leave that out.
But you're not used to that, right? You're not used to that. But Tommy, Auburn won, that's right. They did. So you're happy. Tommy's been a great senator, as you know, and a fantastic guy all around. He was also a tremendous coach. House Armed Services Committee Chair Mike Rogers. Thank you, Mike. Where's Mike? Mike, thank you very much. Doing great, Mike. Representatives Barry Morall, great friends, Robert Adderholt, Gary Palmer, and Dale Strong. Thank you all very much, fellas. Appreciate it. In my first term, I created a thing called Space Force, so important. You know, we were losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia, and now we're far and away #1 in space. And reestablish Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the Space Com headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they moved them to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this. And this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be. I will say I want to thank Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting. So they have automatically crooked elections. And we can't have that. When a state is for mail-in voting, that means they want dishonest elections, because that's what that means. So that played a big factor also. In Huntsville, SpaceCom will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it. Missile Defense Shield, we're going to be having a Golden Dome that the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. The finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it, and that'll be great. But Canada wants very much to be included in that, and we're going to work something out with them, I hope. It will also ensure that our technological capabilities, of which we're way ahead of anybody else, there's nobody close, remain unmatched long into the future. So I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words. He was very much a part of it. And really,
Hey, do y'all
everybody
wanna listen to
behind
this,
me
or y'all
was,
want me to turn
every
it
one
off?
of these people would call
One
me
for
and
keep it on,
lobby
two for
me. I
turn it
said,
off.
Katie, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I know what you want. She said, that's right, sir. That's what I want. And they got their way. So I just want to congratulate. These are really special people. They're politicians in many ways, but they're great patriots, I think even more so than politicians. So they fought very hard to get it, and it's an honor to give it to Huntsville. Pete, say a few words, please.
All right, we'll keep it on for a little while. It's all good.
Thank you, Mr. President. As usual, right place, right time, for the right reason. In your first administration, you established the Space Force at a time when we knew we had to be looking to that domain of space. You also reestablished SpaceCom to ensure that priority was put in place, and you, through the Air Force, independently identified that Huntsville, Alabama was the right place to put it. For other reasons, in the next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else. Well, during that time, the DoD Inspector General, the Government Affairs Office, they did their own assessments, and where did they say SpaceCom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on what the Space Force, the Air Force, your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are way ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead because that's the most important domain. Whoever controls the skies will control the future of warfare. And Mr. President, today you're ensuring that happens. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Katie, would you like to say something?
Mr. President, we are grateful for your leadership on this and restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama. This delegation has worked together, both chambers, both parties, to make sure that Huntsville was the place that Space Command called home. As was mentioned, obviously the Biden administration chose to make this political. What we want to do is put the safety and security of Americans first. We want to make sure that our warfighter is put first, and we want to make sure that America continues to lead. And today, Mr. President, you've allowed that to happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tommy, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. This is a great day for our country, not just for our state of Alabama. We need help in our military. We need to catch up. And as Secretary has said, we're not behind in space, but we know where we're at, and we need to expound on that. Now, this move will save the taxpayers $480 million. It's not going to cost more. It's going to cut $480 million. We have the plans intact. It'll be behind a secure wall in Huntsville, Alabama, at Redstone Arsenal. We have 40,000 people there. We have the FBI there. We have missile defense there. We have NASA, Blue Origin, and SpaceX. It is the perfect place for Space Command. I would tell you today, and I've spoke with the president for the last 3 or 4 years about this. If I thought it needed to go somewhere else because I understand the security of our country, I'd be for that. But the best place for Space Command is Huntsville, Alabama, because what we have and what it means to this country is going to be so important. So thank you, Mr. President, for this, and we look forward to building a huge Space Command and having the Donald J. Trump Space Command Center in Huntsville, Alabama.
JD, would you like to say something?
Sure. Well, Mr. President, thank you. I'll be very brief here. I lobbied the president hard to put it in Ohio, but he said these people behind us, these Alabamas, are just too powerful and too persuasive. And so it's in Alabama, but as Tommy said, this is exactly the right place for Space Force and Space Command. I think Americans ought to appreciate the fact that you can't win the battle of the future unless you control the skies. The cyber security, the communications, the entire infrastructure of the battle in the 21st century will be in space. So it was a visionary move in the first administration for the president to set up Space Force, and I think an equally visionary move to make sure that Space Force is right where it should be in Huntsville, Alabama. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, anybody want to say anything? Would you like to say?
Mr. President, another promise made, another promise kept. You think about it,
Roll
Redstone
Tide.
Arsenal is critical to national security. The president said when you were the 45th president, let's do what's right for national security. And today, that's exactly what we're doing. It's not because of this or that. It's because it's right for national security. You think of the 21 categories that were evaluated to determine what was best for national security. All indicators pointed back to Huntsville, Alabama, and Redstone Arsenal. We have the right people at the right place at the right time. Mr. President, on behalf of the people of the 5th Congressional District and all of Alabama, thank you for keeping your word. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Anybody?
Let me just say, Mr. President, I want to say thank you. And thank you for doing this because it was the right thing to do. When they looked at all the numbers, Huntsville was the place to go. And like you say, it was unfortunately pulled out, but you made it right. So I want to just say thank you again for a grateful nation, and to the state of Alabama, we're very grateful. Thank you and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Throughout history, militaries has always understood that whoever could hold the high ground held the advantage. Space is the ultimate high ground. And what we're doing with moving the Space Command to Huntsville is absolutely critical to our maintaining dominance in that sphere. And it goes hand in hand with what we're trying to do with the Golden Dome and missile defense, to defend against anyone else who tries to enter that sphere. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. And obviously, national defense is a huge issue. And when you look at the scores, Alabama was #1. And for political reasons, it was moved out of our state. But, Mr. President, thank you for making priorities the defense and the warfighter and the safety of this nation. And in the big, beautiful bill, that Golden Dome will be built in Huntsville, Alabama, and we're grateful for that. Thank you.
Listen, as chairman of the Armed Services Committee, I care very much about what's most important for our national security. And the president held a nationwide competition to determine where we should have this command.
That hairpiece is
If
tough.
y'all remember, at the end of that competition, where Alabama came in first, there was a lot of complaints from the other states who did not place well. He said, we'll do it over with new criteria to accommodate your concerns. Alabama came in first in that second competition. His Secretary of the Air Force reviewed the results, said it was fair, and the president named Huntsville. It was the Biden administration that decided to make it political, even though his own Secretary of the Air Force said it was a fair competition and it should be in Huntsville. So I want you to know I appreciate this president standing up and being strong and saying he's going to make this right and put it where it rightfully belongs, and that's Huntsville, Alabama.
Thank you very much. Good job. So thank you all very much. You are going to leave me alone now? You're not going to call me anymore and talk about this subject, right? You promise? They'll start something else. But I just want to congratulate you. It's a very big deal. When you come out and when you leave the room, you'll see that we just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago, and our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran, knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. I think within a month they would have had it if we didn't do what we did. But he gave us a little bit of a briefing, and you'll see. And there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we just, these came out of Venezuela and coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela. So we took it out, and you'll get to see that after this meeting is over. Do you have any questions, please? Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Cumberville talked about the cost savings
Yeah.
associated with this announcement. Can you talk about the strategic benefits by having Space Force Command headquartered in Huntsville?
Well, it just works because we have so much else there. And having a central, you could call it a central command, but it really is a command station. Also, even locationally, where it is, and when you think about flying distances, if you can save a half an hour as fast as some of these planes go and things go, and even the rockets go, if you can save by having the best location. So we went out, as you know, to experts, and we had 4 different groups of experts. They all said this was the best location. I also loved it from the standpoint, I know the people of Alabama, they are great people, work hard, and there's no games, and they're very proud of it. And I would say they fought harder for it than anybody else also. A lot of states, 5 states really wanted it, but they wanted it more. And I kid you not when I say that these people, they spoke to me a lot. That's all they wanted to talk about. They didn't want to talk about the weather. They only wanted to talk about moving to this location, moving to Alabama, Huntsville in particular. So we're honored to do it. They really wanted it badly, and they got it. Peter?
President Trump, something completely different, but about a big viral social media trend over the weekend.
Here we go.
How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see it for a couple
ordered
days.
that super
1.3
weird.
million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really? I didn't see that. You know, I have heard, it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do them for months.
Oh,
You
my
wouldn't see
God.
him.
Here he fucking
And
goes.
nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get reports. Now, you knew I did an interview that lasted for about an hour and a half with somebody, and everybody saw that was on one of your competitors. I did numerous shows and also did a number of truths, long truths, and I think pretty poignant truths. No, I was very active over the weekend. They also knew I went out to visit some people at the club that I own, pretty nearby on the Potomac
What
River.
kind of club, brother?
And no, I've been very active actually over the weekend. I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious stuff. Well, it's fake news. You know, it's just it's so fake. That's why the media has so little credibility. I knew they were saying,
They
like,
opened the
is
door
he
for him. He
okay?
about to
How's he
ramble now.
feeling? What's wrong? I said, I just left. And it's also sort of a longer weekend, you know, it's Labor Day weekend. So I would say a lot of people, no, I was very active this Labor Day. I had heard that, but I didn't hear it to that extent. Go ahead, Peter.
Something else. We know that this country has a huge problem with school shootings. You've said that you're open to sending the National Guard pretty much anywhere. Would you ever consider sending an armed National Guardsman to every school?
Well, we have a big problem with school shooting, but we also have thousands and thousands of schools that run perfectly. You know, they talk about you can do things construction-wise, and that's really, I think nobody knows more about construction than me. You can build the construction doors. You can build what they call safety doors, where they lock on the outside, the inside, and every place else. Well, but if one of these lunatics happens to get through, then the police can't get in. Then they're looking for keys all over the place. And
That's
it takes
valid.
a lot of disadvantages to doing, you know, spending billions and billions of dollars and actually making it safer in some way for some of these lunatics that we're dealing with. But I don't think so. I've thrown out the concept. We have great teachers that love our children. The parents love the children. Teachers love the children too. And if you took a small percentage of those teachers that were in the military, that were distinguished in the military, that were in the National Guard, et cetera, and you let them carry, that's something that a lot of people like. I sort of liked it. It'd have to be studied, but they're trained. They know about weapons. You can't do it with every teacher because most teachers don't know, and you know. But I always thought that would be an alternative. But it just we've had a lot of instances. Other countries have also. They have different kinds of problems than we have, but we do have. There's something going on. And it's a bad thing. Yes, please.
Have you spoken with President Putin in the past week? Have you spoken with President Putin in the past week?
Yeah, I don't want to. I have learned things that will be very interesting. I think in the next few days you'll find out.
Will there be any consequences if there isn't some type of announcement of a meeting with President Putin and President
Yeah.
Zelensky?
Yeah, they will.
And what could those consequences be?
We're going to see what happens. We're going to see what they do and what happens. I'm watching it very closely. Last week, they lost 7,000, between the two countries, 7,313 soldiers, to be somewhat exact, for no reason whatsoever. And they're Russian and they're Ukrainian, but, you know, they're soldiers. I want to see it end. Yeah.
Mr. President, have you decided you're definitely going to send National Guard troops to Chicago?
I didn't say when, but the answer is, look, Chicago's very interesting because I watched Pritzker get up and say about, we don't need help, we're safe. But 2 weeks ago, they had 6 people murdered, and they had 24 people hit by bullets. Last week, as you know, it was 7 people, 24 people hit, and 7 people died. And then over the last 2 days, that was the crown jewel. They had, I guess, 9 killed, 9 or 10 killed, and 50 hit with bullets. And you have this governor get up, who's a terrible governor. Probably he and Gavin Newsom would be probably the 2 worst and most naive. They're naive. Either they're naive or they're very untruthful. And he'll say, we don't want any protection. We don't need. So in the last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed. There's no place in the world, including you can go to Afghanistan, you can go to places that you would think of. They don't even come close to this. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now. Parts of Los Angeles are terrible. If we didn't put out the fires, and I mean the other fires, the bullet fires, they didn't do a good job with, they should have had the water coming down, like I said. You know, we had to release the water. We had to go in and release the water to LA. It's so badly run. But if I didn't send the National Guard into Los Angeles, I would be making an announcement today. I'd be talking about Huntsville, and I'd simultaneously be saying, by the way, the Olympics is not coming to Los Angeles. If we didn't do that, and even the sheriff, the top law enforcement person in Los Angeles said, we could not have handled it without them. So that's what he said.
Make your mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called D.C., District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe. Everyone likes you anyway. They probably wouldn't do it. But it's so dangerous. And there are people in this audience you've suffered greatly. There are people in this audience that have been mugged and hurt badly, and they don't want to talk about it. Maybe you were very brave in talking about it. You made quite an impression on a lot of people. I appreciate it. But there were other people in this room that have been hurt very badly just walking down the street in D.C. Washington, D.C. is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. The restaurants are open. They're booming. You can't get a restaurant. New restaurants are announcing that they're going to be open. This took place in 12 days. Now it's 15 days, but 3 days ago it became what's known as a safe zone. It's a safe city. And this city was really bad, really, really bad. We took 1,600 people out, hardcore criminals that will not be coming back anytime soon. And we're very proud of it. You know, to have our nation's capital lose every week. You know, it was like years, many years, where every single week somebody was killed for many, many, many consecutive weeks. This went on for years. And then we had, last week it was announced that nobody was killed last week. And I made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country. And I'm saying proudly, ladies and gentlemen, nobody was killed in Washington, D.C. this week. He looked at me like, what's that all about? I say, yeah, we have a little bit of a crime problem, and we don't have a crime problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful, and the police commission has been very helpful, and it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me, I'd gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops, because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network, except really the opposite, I would say, very unfriendly network. And they interviewed about 12 people on this morning. Most of them were African American, they were black. And they were saying, please, please, please let
Why do you say it like
the
that?
president send it. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside. We're petrified. If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore. I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is a very unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city, one of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world. But, you know, we took care. This was a beautiful thing that happened in Washington because we showed that it could be done. And this wasn't just sending big, strong guys, and they are big and they are strong. You know, we had a great decision from the Supreme Court that had to do with sort of talent. It had to do with you are put down based on merit. You can hire based on merit. So merit for a soldier or for a policeman is strong, physically fit, having a certain ability, not a person that is woke and got the job through woke, but wasn't strong enough to lift a gun out of the holster, et cetera, et cetera. No, I looked at the police. As you know, last week I went over, we had a meeting there had to be 300 people, and they were all very impressive looking. And when the bad guys see them, they're not going to do a thing. And so I'm very proud of Washington. It serves as a template, and we're going to do it elsewhere. But Chicago is certainly going to be high. I would love to have him call. I would love the governor of Illinois. I'd be honored to take his call. All he has to do is say, sir, we need help. It's out of control. And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone. I would love to have, I would say, Governor Moore call, because I watched him over the weekend trying to explain that Baltimore, what they need is housing. No, they don't need housing. They need to get rid of the criminals. These are hardcore criminals. You know, we took many people off the streets of Washington, D.C. They're hardcore. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals. They were born to be criminals, frankly. They were born to be criminals, and they're tough and mean, and they'll cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next day. They won't even remember that they did it. And we're not going to have those people. Washington, D.C. is now a safe zone. It's a safe place. And you can walk, Katie, you can walk right down the street with, by the way, one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen, which is her husband. He was a football player for like 11 years in the NFL. He's a big person. But big doesn't mean anything when they have guns and when they have knives and everything else that they have, right? But you can walk right down the street, even by yourself, and you're totally safe. Washington, D.C. is a great thing. Yes, ma'am, please.
Mr. President, as you're calling on Democratic leaders across the country to work with you on crime, do you see your efforts here in D.C., including, for example, working with Mayor Bowser here as a model for bringing more bipartisanship in matters not only with crime, but also issues that matter to everyday American people's lives?
So Mayor Bowser's been great. She could have taken the thing, well, and then after I clean it up, they'll take credit for it. You know what they do is they take credit. Like, we cleaned up Los Angeles. We did a great job there. And it was overwhelming what was going on. And again, the police chief made a statement that we could not have done, there's no way they could handle it. You saw what was happening out there. It was going to be a disaster. We stopped it cold. If we didn't do that, would have been a very sad day. And you know, remember, we have the Olympics, we have the World Cup, we have all these things coming, and we have 250, all of these things coming. But I watched Newsom get up and say he's doing a great, he's not, we're the ones that did it, and that's okay, whatever it takes, but the main thing is but he got up and said, we did it. Well, he didn't want us there, and he's going to need us again because it's starting to form again. I see it. It's starting to form again. You know, we have to maintain. It's like maintenance on an airplane. You can buy it, but you have to maintain it. And if you don't maintain it, a good plane becomes very unsafe very quickly. So it's an honor to do it. It's a lot of presidents wouldn't do what I'm doing. I don't need this heat, but when I watched television last night and I'm watching the news and I see that
My
9
boy
people
loves
were
what he's
killed
done. He
in
loves telling people
Chicago
what he's done.
and 54 were badly wounded with bullets. I say,
Badly
that's
wounded
not this country. We have to do
with
something.
bullets.
And I do say this, I say this
badly.
very much. I'm not speaking to anybody but them right now. I would love to receive calls from governors and mayors saying they need help. We'll help them. We have a lot of people. We have a great force. We have a great military force. You know, Pete will tell you that when I was running for office, and this was a big headline, I think, you know, probably got me a couple of votes, but you couldn't sign people in the military. Nobody wanted to join the military, the Army, Air Force, the Navy, Marines, Space Force, Coast Guard. We never forget Coast Guard because they've done such a great job. Never. But nobody wanted to join any of them. We were way below what we wanted. Every single one. The closest was the Marines, whatever that is. You'll explain that to me. But the closest was the Marines. But every service was way down, way down. And then I got elected, and our country's the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. Everybody's talking about the USA. They're talking about the job that we're doing. Everybody. We have the best economy. We have a very, very important decision being made by the Supreme Court because our country is the richest, the strongest, the most powerful. But if for some reason some liberal court, I'm talking about the court that just ruled, where even an Obama judge voted in favor of us, which I gave him a compliment yesterday, as you know. I said that took great courage. But it's a liberal court, and it's going up to the Supreme Court, who I think have been incredible people. I think they've made very wise decisions. But the tariff question, because without the tariffs, this country is in serious, serious trouble. We've taken in almost $17 trillion of investment is coming in. Most of it is coming because of tariffs. And if for some reason somebody wanted to be politically correct, I actually think it's unpolitically correct. I think politically correct is to approve it because there's nothing so popular as what's happened to our country. Our country is doing so well. But we had a liberal court gave us a very shocking ruling, and that ruling is basically saying that the trillions of dollars that are pouring into our country, putting us in a position like no country is anywhere in the world, that they'd like to see us that taken away. By the way, a lot of the people behind that lawsuit, that particular, are from foreign countries. I might add.
There's a video that is circulating online now of the White House where a window is open to the residents upstairs and somebody is throwing a big bag out the window. Have you seen this?
No, that's probably AI generated.
So
Actually, you can't open the windows. You know why? They're all heavily armored and bulletproof.
So that's a fake video?
Well, it's got to be because I know every window up there. The last place I'd be doing it is that because there's cameras all over the place, right? Including yours. No, but every window, I've never seen a window that's, in fact, my wife was complaining about it the other day. She said, love to have a little fresh air come in, but you can't. They're bulletproof. And number one, they're sealed. And number two, each window weighs about 600 pounds. You have to be pretty strong to open them up. No, that has to be, where was the window? Let me see.
Who gives a fuck?
Maybe from the renovations.
Which is the window?
It looks like this is on the 15th Street side, I think.
Yeah.
So right here.
Yeah, those windows are sealed. Those windows are they're all sealed. You can't open them.
What you were saying regarding the federal.
It's the kind of thing they do. And one of the problems we have with
Oh,
AI,
God,
it's both
here we
good and
go.
bad. If something happens really bad, just blame AI. But also they create things, you know, it works both ways. If something happens that's really bad, maybe I'll have to just blame AI. But there's truth to it because I see so many phony things. I saw something as I was growing up from the time I was a baby till now. I said, who did that? It was AI generated. So it's a little bit scary, to be honest with you. But those windows are all very heavily sealed.
The best windows, great windows. Those windows are very sealed. The best
federal
sealed.
appellate court that ruled against you and your administration as it relates to your ability.
Well, they ruled against our country, the court, and they ruled against us before. It's a very liberal court.
partisan in your.
Well, it
social
certainly
media posts.
is. It certainly
And in
is.
fact, it was along ideological lines, 7-4.
Well, except that we actually got one of the Obama judges that was appointed by President Obama voted in favor of the tariffs because he felt it was imperative for our country to thrive and survive even. And I gave him credit. I said, you know what? That took a lot of courage for him to do it because you don't see that often.
So my question is, I suspect you're going to appeal that all the way to the Supreme Court.
Well, we already have, yeah. In fact, we're doing something else. We're going to be going to the Supreme Court, we think, tomorrow because we need an early decision. I mean, look, the financial fabric of our country, we're a rich, incredible country right now, and we're able to, you know, other countries use tariffs on us for years, and we never did. I did a lot during my first term, but then we had COVID, and we had to focus on other things. You couldn't be tariffing Italy, Spain, France, as they were dying by the thousands and millions. But we did with China, and China paid us billions and billions of dollars. And I started the process, but then I had to end it a little bit because of COVID. We focused on that. But no, it's a very important decision. And frankly, if they make the wrong decision, it would be a devastation for our country. We've taken in trillions of dollars. And by the way, all these countries signed agreements, as an example. They're all happy. Everybody's happy. But some whack job put in a lawsuit. It went before a very liberal court, and the liberal court ruled, it was 11, they ruled 7-4, with one of the most liberal of them all voting in our favor because they're patriots. I think I give tremendous credit to that judge. And now it's going to the Supreme Court. Now we're going to be asking for early admittance. We're going tomorrow, and we're going to ask for an expedited ruling because, you know, when you look at the stock market's down today, the stock market's down because of that, because the stock market needs the tariffs. They want the tariffs. If you look at AI, all of those, you know, all of that money that's going to be invested, trillions and trillions of dollars, the biggest thing, bigger than the internet, I suspect. It's the internet plus 3 or 4 other things combined. We are leading very substantially with AI. We're leading because of tariffs. We're leading because of talent, and this is where they'd like to be. But without the tariffs, we wouldn't have a chance because we wouldn't be able to protect those investments of the companies coming in. So if you took away tariffs, we could end up being a third world country. That's how big the ruling. So we're asking for an expedited ruling.
As a backstop to that, President, you have a Republican-controlled Congress. You control the House. You control the Senate.
Yeah, but we don't have 60 votes. We don't have 60 votes. I'd love to do that. Oh, if we had 60 senators, if we got the 60 votes, we would get them. But we need 60 votes, and we need, you know, a certain number in the House. I think we'd get, I don't know, we have about 5 of them here. Would everybody agree with me on tariffs? Without tariffs, we're a different country. We have taken in so much money. And here's the thing. We signed a deal with Japan. They're paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. We signed a deal with South Korea. We signed a deal with the European Union. We signed a deal with Europe. And those countries are paying us $950 billion. And they're happy about it. They're okay. As one of them said, it's amazing that we got away with it so long. One of my friends, a leader of one of the countries, and they're fine with it. They all signed. If that ruling ever went against us, I guess we'd have to give back hundreds of billions. We would have to give trillions and trillions of dollars back to countries that have been ripping us off for the last 35 years. And I can't imagine it happening. On a legal basis, they have no legal basis whatsoever. But on a common sense basis, it would destroy America. Okay.
Introducing.
You talked about controlling the sky. On Sunday, the satellite signal of Ursula von der Leyen's plane was alleged.
With Ursula? Well, she had an interesting event. She's a tremendous woman. And so what are you asking me about her?
NATO is concerned about an attitude about this.
Sure, NATO is concerned about it. Well, nobody knows where it came from, but they did take away her ability to use a phone. You know? Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that could happen to me. I'd be very happy.
Considering reducing the tariffs on India from 50%,
What does that mean?
are you considering taking away some of the tariffs that you've imposed on India? You had posted.
No, we get along with India very well, but India has, you have to understand, for many years it was a one-sided relationship. Only now, since I came along, and because of the power that we have with tariffs, India was charging us tremendous tariffs, about the highest in the world. They were about the highest in the world, number one. And we therefore weren't doing much business with India, but they were doing business with us because we weren't charging them. Foolishly, we weren't charging them. So they would send in massive, everything they made, they'd send it in, pour it into our country. Therefore, it wouldn't be made here, which is a negative. But we would not send in anything because they were charging us 100% tariffs. And, I'll give you an example. Harley Davidson couldn't sell into India. There was a 200% tariff on a motorcycle. So what happens? Harley Davidson went to India and built a motorcycle plant. And now they don't have to pay tariffs. Same thing as us. So what we're doing is literally thousands of companies are coming into the U.S., car companies, AI, but, more traditionally, car companies. We have so many car company factories under construction or being designed right now. And they're coming from China, they're coming from Mexico, I must tell you, and they're coming from Canada, a lot of them coming from Canada. But they're coming into our country because they want to build here. And they want to build here for two reasons. Number one, they'd like to be here. And number two, the tariffs are protecting them. And number three, they want to avoid paying tariffs. When they build their cars here, they don't have any tariffs to pay. When you build here, you don't have any tariffs.
Mr. President,
Go ahead,
in
please.
light of the Minnesota shooting last week, the Department of Homeland Security is now awarding more than $100 million to hundreds of faith organizations across the country to help them ramp up security. What's your vision for further protecting religious liberty across the country amid incidents of threats and
So
violence?
religious liberty is so important. And we're talking about every religion now. And we're doing things on that nobody else has ever done. And we're going to be having a big announcement in about 2 weeks on that question. Yeah, please.
On Space Commit, sir, are you concerned that people may not be willing to relocate from Colorado to Alabama?
No, I'm not worried. Then we'll get somebody else.
Fuck.
I mean, the problem with Colorado is they have a very corrupt voting system. Look, I have so many friends in Colorado. Anytime you have mail-in voting, you have corrupt elections. Very simple. It's very simple. Even Jimmy Carter said it with his commission. They set up a commission with him and Scoop Jackson and some people, highly regarded people. And they said the finding was, if you have mail-in voting, you will have corrupt elections. Well, your radical left governor decided that he was going to have all mail-in voting in Colorado. Once you have all mail-in voting, and for whatever reason, the Democrats cheat. And they cheat like, they're not stupid. That's the only thing. They're no good on policy. They're no good on management. They're no good at government. But they're great at cheating. And they stick together, too. I give them credit for sticking together. Please.
Obviously, this is a big win for national security, moving this to Alabama. We've all can agree with that.
Big.
Is there any idea of the economic impact this has on the state and on that local area?
Katie, do you want to answer that?
Look, I mean, go ahead.
Please go.
This is going to be tremendous. I mean, the state of Alabama, what we've seen through this process is the worst of Washington. We've seen politics get in the way of what is best for the warfighter, what's best for national security. And the state of Alabama is about to show the country the best among us. So we know the economic impact is going to be tremendous. There at Redstone Arsenal, we're proud to house everything from the FBI to headquarters there for material command to a number of things. We obviously have NASA with Marshall Space Flight Center, and so this naturally fits within. When you look at the decision matrix that they placed in front of us, that's why we ranked so high, is because we have the resources necessary and the ability to build out quickly to meet the needs in front of us. As far as economic impact, it would be tremendous. Does anybody have an exact number? 1,600 jobs.
3,000 spin off.
with 3,000 spin off. Look at this. This is teamwork right here. So we are really proud, and the people of Alabama are ready to get to work.
That's mean.
And I've got a housing question, if you could, just for a second, Mr.
Yeah,
President.
please.
Owning a home and going about the American dream seems like it's out of touch for a lot of Americans.
Yeah.
Just recently, you pushed out a statement about addressing an emergency housing situation.
That's right, we're thinking about doing that.
Yeah, can you just?
Well, we need a little help from the Fed. We have a man named Jerome Too Late Powell. You probably heard of him. He's too late. He's way too late.
Here he goes.
And the economy is so strong that it's pushing through that. Normally, it would have been much tougher, but we're doing so well that we're pushing through it. But it makes it very hard for people to get mortgages because too late is too late. Very simple. He's too late. And probably political, whatever. He wasn't too late before the election. Before the election, he was cutting rates, right? Because he was hoping that, I guess, Biden would get in or that Kamala would. He was a big Biden guy.
Biden.
Explain that one. And then he was a Kamala person, but he was hoping, I guess, she'd win, I guess. I don't know. It didn't work out too well. But, yeah, we need a very serious cut. You know, I think that if you look back many decades ago, the United States was always the lowest, even if they were doing badly. The United States was, because without the United States, everything in the world would die. It's true. It's so powerful. It's so big. And I made it really big in the first 4 years. Then it started to degenerate with what this Biden administration did. But we built it up to a level that I never thought we could be at this quickly. We're the hottest, we're the best financially. The money coming in is so big because of tariffs and other things, but because of tariffs. Tariff gets us even those other things. Plus, it gets us great negotiating. I settled 7 wars, and numerous of those wars were because of trade. And numerous of the trade deals that I made were because of tariffs. It gives you a great negotiating ability. If that ability were taken away from us by a liberal court acting on essentially foreign nations asking to get help from the United States government, when they've been doing this to us for 40 years, that's why we have $38 trillion in debt. We won't have it for long if they let us, if they allow us to do what everybody knows we should be able to do. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, another Biden-era action that you're now reversing is that you signed a deal last week to make federal buildings adopt and embrace classical architecture styles again. Can you talk to us about why you do that, and also what's your vision?
Well, we want to see beautiful buildings. Now, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder. I've seen architectural reviews over the years. I'm an expert at it. I've gotten a lot of great reviews. But I've seen buildings that I didn't think were very good get great reviews, and I've seen great buildings get bad reviews. So, but it's just a standard. We want to have a good standard. We're building something here, you know, for 150 years they wanted a ballroom at the White House. We're doing something at the highest level using great architects and all. And, you know, it's very exciting. But we have a lot of interesting things happening architecturally in D.C. And D.C. is like a different place. And, you know, even the contractor said, sir, we walked down today, we feel like much safer. It's like a different place. Washington, D.C. is great. Now, we're going to also beautify it.
Beautify.
We're going to put a topping on the roads. We're not going to rip them apart and take 4 years to build a road that was exactly the same by the time you build it. But we're going to put toppings. We're going to put new medians in. We're going to get the graffiti off. We're going to put tiles up in the tunnels where the tiles are missing. And we'll do the whole tunnel instead of, you know, a little area where you see new tiles, old tiles that never look too good, but they could use it. You know, they've been up for 50 years. They've served their duty. But we're going to make this within about a 20-mile radius from the White House. We're going to have this place spick and span.
Spick and span,
It's going to be crime-free, and it's going to be spick and span. It's going to be, you'll be proud of Washington.
Spick and span,
again.
coin
Go ahead,
puppet.
please.
Sir, China's having a massive military parade that President Putin and Kim Jong-un will be attending. Do you interpret that as a challenge to this? And are you concerned at all about those countries trying to be some sort of counterweight?
Not at all. China needs us, and I have a very good relationship with President Xi, as you know. But China
President
needs
who?
us much more than we need them. No, I don't see that at all, no. And I had actually a very good meeting with President Putin a couple of weeks ago. We'll see if anything comes out of it. If it doesn't, we'll take a different stance.
Today in California ruled that your deployment of National Guard troops to Los Angeles was illegal. Do you have any response?
Well, it was a radical left judge. But very importantly, what did you not tell me in that question or statement that you made, pretty much of a statement, I think.
Well, I was asking for your response.
No, you didn't say what the judge said, though. The judge said, but you can leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can continue to be in place. That's all we need. But why didn't you put that as part of your statement? Because the same judge ruled exactly as you said, except the judge said that you can leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can stay, they can remain, they can do what they have to do. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate it.
Piss
Thank
Trump
you.
off.
Thank
Trump
you.
ready to leave.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys, thank you, press, thank you. Let's head out.
How you let me in there to ask some questions? How I get in there to ask some questions, bro? That's the real question. Oh my goodness, man, we were on that for a minute, huh? I didn't realize we'd been on there for like an hour. Whoops. Ugh, jeez. Dude, these things hurt, bro. Jeez. All right, be real, be honest. Whether you disagree or agree with what Trump says, bro says some funny shit sometimes. You got just be honest. Just be honest. Sometimes it's funny. Be honest. Oh, what's the market doing? Doom, 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 doom. 369, that bowl wine. Funniest. Oh, okay. 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 What's the market up to? How are we responding to that? So the stock market's actually doing decently because they see he's not dead. What a funny narrative that spun up today, my friends. So VOO still kind of picking up. It did have that pullback all the way to 583, but it's up about 0.7% off that low. Back around 587, trending well, broke structure, trying to chase down this next high. It's trying to break that downtrend. That's kind of what it's trying to do right now. It's trying to break that trend. We obviously did get a bit of a micro higher high here. So VOO, again, we're talking about the S&P 500, has made a nice rally, came back, got a little tiny RS flip to break structure, cleared it. Now it's just trying to break the trend. We were obviously in the downtrend. It's coming up, currently trying to break the red box. If it breaks above 588, it does, of course, cancel out this downtrend, reinvest a new trend. So now, obviously, we could start pursuing those higher highs. I think VOO closing at either partially down, like partially down, or somewhere pretty close to break even on the day makes a lot of sense right now. So, I know some of you are big on calls, but I would say, like, if we were able to break through this liquidity zone, this little rejection zone, I think, some calls does make a little bit of sense, trying to pursue back towards that high. I think maybe getting back all the way up to the open will be difficult, but I definitely think there could be some opportunity there. So S&P 500 is looking decent. Bitcoin on the 1 minutes is looking actually pretty damn decent, I will say. The reason why I say that is because it obviously did get this little move up. We saw the rally from 108 all the way up to 110. We ran all the way back up here, and what's Bitcoin doing now? Well, it's obviously creating the structure. Bang. It's creating some sort of descending structure. You guys know my thesis here. Generally speaking, these descending structures will break upwards. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Bitcoin try to make some sort of rally back up towards the upside. And if it can, say, push up towards above $111.4 thousand, if it can break that little micro zone of resistance, I definitely think some sort of I think breaking this red box can easily put us on track to break, say, around 112 or maybe $112.8 thousand and continue this little trend upward. So the market's actually in a pretty decent spot. I'm not going to lie. It does seem like a lot of the fears that were in the market of the rumors and stuff were alleviated. And I think the market could definitely recover a little bit as a result of it. We head over to CoinGlass. That's the playbook. Shout out to the playbook. Let's see how liquidations are looking. People will definitely have shifted their trades around now as a result of him being alive. FYN Visor hates Trump more than anyone I've seen in my comments. And I like you, FYN Visor, but I definitely will say you do appear to be like the most negatively biased towards him that I've ever seen. Not a huge shift actually in liquidations on either end of things. There definitely are more people opening up some long trades. So in the same breath that I say that the market is looking good, I definitely would be careful right now because we are still seeing those liquidations. And remember, my thesis, what I've told you all pretty consistently is that September is one of those months you don't get super heavily involved in, right? This isn't one of those months where you should be doing big buys, big sells, big longs, big shorts. I wouldn't be doing any of that. I would let this market play out because we are in one of the most heavily manipulated periods of time that crypto has seen in a while. We obviously have interest rate decisions, we have tariff decisions, we have Trump's relationship with Putin kind of deteriorating hour after hour. There's a lot of things that are in play right now that are going to have a major impact on the crypto market, and I do think most of them will resolve themselves, and I do think we will see crypto continue to rally. It wouldn't shock me whatsoever to see Bitcoin again push up towards all-time highs sometime this year, but at the end of the day, like, getting there could be a bumpy ride, and September is very likely going to be quite a wild month of volatility swings and liquidity hunts. So remember, my thesis for September is if there's ever been a month this year that you should calm down, it's in September. I would not be doing anything big whatsoever. I would genuinely be letting this market play out as it's going to. If you're a long-term holder, dollar cost average to lows. What am I going to do? Boom, I'm DCAing 110 to 106, 98, 90 to 82. These are my 3 buy zones. Number 1, number 2, number 3. I'm just dollar cost averaging in this bag, trying to catch a rip towards the upside. If I can catch this bounce, if I can catch this bounce, right? I'm trying to find a little bit of a bounce there. If the market does rally, guess what? I'm still going to take profits off the table because these rallies are very short-lived and they are oftentimes followed by these pullbacks. So the easiest thing to do right now is literally just counter trade the entire market. Connor Kinney has labeled it as contrarian trading, and I do think that's a great label for it. Is just go against the market at all times, right? So in a moment where the market is dipping, dollar cost average. In a moment where the market is pumping, take profit, and do that over and over and over again without taking on any big leverage trades or any big, huge and new positions. Okay, that's what I'd be doing, and I would be doing that up until we finally get this interest rate cut, and even maybe 1 or 2 days afterwards. I would give it a couple days to let that volatility go. September should, in my opinion, be the month where you do the least amount of trading, the least amount of leverage, the least amount of risk taking. I wouldn't be doing much right now. Okay, so that's kind of where we are here. We'll look at a few more alts here in a second, but I do want to shill some stuff real quick. So real quick, if you guys are trading any of these cryptos, Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, XRP, first and foremost, be careful. And again, now is not the time for any big leverage. But if you are doing some small leverage trades or some small trading, you can check out the link in the description over to BTCC. You're going to get up to $10,000 in bonuses and lower trading fees. It's one of the best deals out there. Also, you can remember, don't forget to go follow me on Instagram, TylerHillYT_. It is linked down below. I am posting a whole bunch of stuff, whether it's daily updates on, Crow, Bitcoin, XRP, XLM, whatever. Also some like personal insights as to what I have going on. I've been posting a lot of more behind the scenes and stuff of like me training and all that. So if you ever want to see some of the more behind the scenes stuff of what I have going on, as I mentioned before, I do have a kickboxing fight coming up. So I'm getting ready for that. So if you want to see a little bit more behind the scenes of me getting ready for that, feel free to check that out. That's down there for you. Lastly, the crypto playbook is still live and it is still free. You can check out the link to that down below. There's multiple chapters, over 11 chapters now of information that is available for you all if that interests you. For example, what is crypto? You can go here. There's a video explaining what crypto is, and I took notes for you. I took notes on everything for you just to make your life easy. So you don't have to take notes. You don't have to waste your time. You can literally just watch it. Like leverage trading, there's a leverage trading video, and there's some notes on leverage trading and how it all works, so that hopefully you can learn as much about crypto as humanly possible for free. I do believe this is one of the most valuable free resources that there is in all of crypto, and you can check it out. The link's down below. All you got to do is go to get instant access, enter in your name, your phone number, and your email. You do not have to put your phone number if you don't want to. Then press get my guide, and we're going to email it to you. Make sure you check your junk. And obviously the Crypto Strategy School is available down below. I have a lot of big announcements coming for that soon, but that is where I do post a lot of my stuff. For example, the little Solana short trade we were talking about is available here. I did recently update them on all of the purchasing on Bitcoin I've been doing. I did do a $5,000 purchase on Hood, and a $5,000 purchase on Apple yesterday. Kind of bad timing because it dumped today, but still willing to buy in those. So this is where I post a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of links down below, so feel free to go check them out. I would say the biggest thing I would ask of you is you just go follow me over on Instagram. That is where a lot of behind the scenes content goes out. And you're also going to know when, whenever I am going to be going live and stuff like that, I'll make announcements and all that good stuff. So feel free to check that out. And without further ado, let's kind of look at the market a little bit more here. Live stream the fight. Yeah, there will be a link to the live stream. The live stream does usually go through the promotion that I'm fighting for, so I'll just send you guys a link to that, and hopefully I don't get knocked to fuck out on live TV. That would suck. But we'll see. I'll take that title. He's a problem, but my bad. I'm not trying to distract you from your work. No, man, no, that's never a distraction. I'm always open to hearing opinions. Listen, I'm just the kind of dude, I don't really give a fuck who's in office. I just want to make some money, and if I'm making some money, I'm all good. He's starting to move like Biden. The dude deserves a weekend. Did you see Beam with a 50% candle almost today? No, I did not. What's Beam's market cap? There it is. Are you sure? Hold on. Oh, shit. Okay. What was that? What was that? Why did that happen? My goodness, what the hell was that? Yeah, I mean, it's just running into that massive zone of resistance. Unable to get it. That was a, jeez Louise, what was that? Tyler, you're still a dub, brother. Even getting out there shows you're a W, bro. It'll be lit and see action. Not only do it. Yeah, shout out to you, homie. It'll be fun. Let's kind of see what happens. I'm fighting a guy I fought before already. He called it. We haven't fought in 3 years. He's confident he's going to beat me. He's confident that he's going to be able to kind of turn back the tables and get that win back. He wants to make it 1-1. I guess he wants to have a little trilogy action here. So he did an interview. He said he was very confident that after being in the ring with me, that or the cage with me, he knows what it takes to beat me, and he wants to go show that to the world. And I'm like, all right, well, bring it. Let's see. So I'm willing to put that test on the line and just kind of see what happens. And I didn't get to finish him last time, so I'm going to try to put him unconscious, and we'll go from there. But anyway, we'll talk about that later on, eh? My buddy fought War Machine in Bellator. He lost. What a cool thing to brag about. Yeah, imagine fighting a guy named War Machine. No thanks. Hard pass. Solana. The only thing about crypto that's really bothering me, so there's something that's like bothering me right now. I'm going to answer that question in a second, Steinar. The only thing that's bothering me is how many structures that are usually breakdown structures there are. So like Ethereum, for example, is in this massive ascending channel, and it's been in it since August 11th. And its breakdown target would first be 4,000, second be 3,800, and third be 3,600. Like these would be the breakdown targets for ETH if it lost the support, which it does normally do. Solana, for example, it is now in an ascending structure, and it is historically something that will break down. XRP is in an ascending structure, and it did lose that pennant, which would then put it in a position to start pulling back towards, say, 250 or something like that. Bitcoin is one of the only ones that's actually not in that sort of structure, but since Bitcoin's price did break to the downside of this ascending wedge, it does technically have a breakdown target of $98,000. Like, so much of the crypto market is pointing at a break to the downside that it does actually concern me a little bit. But what I'm aware of is that, listen, the crypto market is so heavily manipulated, like these things can just be traps. Like, the crypto market might show every single sign of pulling back, and then it's just going to send out of nowhere. So I'm not falling for it. Like, I'm not super convinced that we're going to see a pullback, but I am very, very prepared for it in the sense, like, I have cash literally sitting ready to deploy into this market if I get a second. And I'm probably considering putting in buy orders as well, like 98.4 on Bitcoin, bottom side structure for XRP, so maybe like 257. Solana, probably buy order would be going in somewhere at the breakdown zone here, so probably somewhere around like $176 first, $156 second, and then back here third, 126 third. Like, it is concerning me a little bit, the sheer amount of breakdown structures that we are seeing forming in the market right now. I'd be lying if I said that isn't concerning me a little bit in the short term. And it would imply that, like, the altcoin market would be the one that really pulls back. Because if you go look, like Bitcoin, whenever it comes to, say, like 7 days, let's actually go to 30 day. Like the 30 day, for example, is still favoring the upside, but it's like only Bitcoin, I think. Let me see. Yeah, so like ETH is still heavily, like it still has a ton of liquidations to the downside. Solana as well has less now, but still a lot of liquidations to the downside. XRP, this one's looking a little bit better. This one has less liquidations to the downside, but things like Solana and ETH have enough liquidations to the downside, and they still have the structure to break to the downside. So it does concern me that we might see Solana and ETH start pulling back and start liquidating those people to the bottom side, with maybe like Bitcoin and XRP slowly falling, but not falling as fast as like Solana and ETH and stuff. So it is a little bit concerning. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'd be a bit of a liar if I said I wasn't a bit concerned about it. So I am watching that very closely, and I guess I'll just kind of let time tell what happens. I don't really know. I don't really know what's going to happen, but it is something I'm kind of watching out for and just paying attention to. I'm really just in a watch and see sort of phase right now. Like, basically what I'm doing right now is literally just sitting back and watching to see if these things break down or not. Does ETH make a run towards the top side or does it break to the downside? That's going to tell us everything that we need to know. But in the meantime, I am just kind of relaxing and letting this all play out. So I'll obviously keep you all updated as this does play out, but it is worth noting that there are breakdown structures that could lead this market downwards in the short term, and that obviously could lead with some liquidation. But remember, my general thesis is that even if the market does pull back a little bit, I still do think that some sort of future rally would be on the way. Like, even if it does this, I think some sort of move to the upside can be on the way, and I still think all-time highs are in our favor. Again, it just might be a little bit spooky until then. Oh, there he is. Yeah, we were talking about the fact that you didn't send me an email, pretended like you did, and then left. What are you trading on leverage again? I've already spoken on this. I missed it. The only thing I have open on leverage right now is a tiny Solana trade. Outside of that, I don't really have much. And it's what digital assets is trolling about. Here comes the knee. I had a little bit of profit on Solana. I took $850 in profit off of my long-term bag for Solana, and then I put $85 of that $850 into a Solana short. That went up like 90%. I pulled the initial 85 out of that. It went up 50%, sorry. I left the $45 just in that, just to see what would happen. It'd be a free little hedge, and if that pulls back, like if Solana pulls back, I'll just close that for a couple $100 and throw that couple $100 back into my long-term bag. So outside of that, I really don't have anything. I did have an ETH short open, and I wish I would have kept it open. The reason I closed it is because I had a really cool opportunity to invest into a company. And I was like, fuck, I don't know what I want to do. Like, do I want to keep the ETH short open? Do I want to take that profit and put it into this company? And I was like, I'll put it into the company because I think the opportunity is higher, even though the risk is higher. And I was like, I already have like some stuff going on. So I closed down the ETH short trade, put it into that opportunity, that OTC deal. And yet ETH is still down from there. It would be up like 40 or 50%. So kind of wish I would have kept it open because that thing I invested in isn't even live yet. But you live and you learn. It is what it is. But outside of that, I just have those two tiny short trades open. The majority of my bags, as you all know, are in long-term investments and long-term holds. About 93% of my entire crypto portfolio is allocated to to long-term investments, just because I think that's the best thing to do, right? Crypto historically has only just gone up. You know what I mean? And so the best thing that you can do as a crypto holder, in my opinion, is to buy and just leave it alone, or take some profit off the table as you go, right? So buy a little bit of, Bitcoin, let it pump. When we're super overbought, when things are really high, boom, take some profits. When we fall, reinvest back in. So either swing trade the long macro moves or literally just buy and hold. So I have 93% of my portfolio allocated towards that. In my long-term bag for Bitcoin, for example, I do a daily dollar cost average. So as you guys can see, I talked about this over in the Discord yesterday. So every day, basically, I'll buy $400 of Bitcoin. I just do it every day. So like the 24th, 25th, 26th. So I still do that. I do the same thing for my stock market portfolio. I do $600 a day into the S&P 500. And that's in my long-term forever bags. Those are bags that I just leave alone. So again, I'm not really doing a lot on leverage right now just because I don't think it's the best time to be leverage trading. There's a ton of uncertainty in the market. It's very unclear what the future is going to look like. It's very unclear what the next couple weeks are going to look like. I do think that if we do get past this interest rate cut stuff and there is a lot of clarity, I probably will open up the door to leverage a little bit more in my portfolio and try to take 5 or 6%. And I'll try to take 5 or 6% and try to compound that up to say like 20, 30, 40%. You know what I mean? And that's typically what I like to do. Like, I have 100% portfolio allocation, right, to give. 90% of that will go into my long-term bags that I'll just leave alone. I'll take 10%. And I'll put that in to say some leverage trade, just do some swing trading, some long-term swing trading generally, or mid-term swing trades. And the idea would be to say turn that 10% of allocation into say 30 or 40% in terms of size, but not actually let it become that. But I of course, take profit and shovel that profit into my long-term bag. I don't really know why I started going on this tangent. But yeah, that's my general kind of way that I'm going about it right now. So, okay. On one slide. Okay. Yeah, I'll just kind of, yeah, digital assets, it's like the joke's not funny anymore. You're just kind of annoying, to be honest. Okay, so we'll go ahead and yo, hold on, G. Whoa, leave my leg alone. I'm Steiner. I'm glad you asked again. I forgot. What are your goals for Q4 to end 2025 with? Are you happy with your goals you set for the beginning of the year? In terms of net worth, I have hit the goal that I was hoping for this year, so I was definitely happy about that. I used to care a lot more about net worth a long time ago. But as time has gone on, I've started to kind of shift my goals. I think net worth and stuff, like oftentimes it's really just vanity metrics. I'm more concerned about what I'm capable of accomplishing with the money and with the assets that I accumulate. But in terms of like net worth and overall financial growth, I definitely am pretty happy. I did obviously get married today, not today, this year. So that was a big goal of mine. I am going to be moving. I'm moving to a different city in a couple months. Gladly, I've been really looking forward to that, and that was as a result of course, the financial growth. In terms of YouTube, I am very happy with the YouTube side of things. I do feel like it's grown exactly as I hoped it would. This has been a tough year to be a creator because there's so many ups and downs, and more downs than ups. But I feel like I've kept a level head throughout it all and stuck to my plan and my strategy, and I think that's kind of reflected across the community. So definitely happy there. My company Fluence, we are now, in my opinion, and this is of course just subjective. This is not objective. The number one KOL relations agency in all of crypto. We work with more influencers than most agencies. We've hosted more campaigns as more agencies. We are doing a massive expansion right now. We brought on a COO, and with that came a team of like 10 or 15 people. So we have been in massive expansion modes recently. That is a company that is worth, well into the higher 7 figures, low 8-figure range. So that's great to see. Obviously, we're only 4 years old, 3.5 years old. So seeing that growth is great. Yeah, so everything looks good. I mean, my goals for the rest of Q4 really is just to kind of double down. Really just double down into everything, right? So bigger and better. That's kind of my my plan for the Q4 of 2024 is more content, bigger content, better content. For my company, bigger deals, more deals, bigger creators, more creators. Whether it's the school, right? Bigger and better. I don't know how many of you are in the school. If you're in the school, put I'm in the chat right now. But in the school, we're doing a really big expansion. We're going to have 2 huge courses get released on passive investing and trading, or active trading. We have some huge updates that we're going to be announcing. It's like 20, 30 hours worth of content that's going to be releasing. So it's just bigger and better, really. Like I said, I have a pro fight coming up in December. I'd like to go knock that guy clean out. I don't really like this whole narrative he's painting, like, I know how to beat him. It's like, motherfucker, you couldn't beat me the first time. So I like to go kind of shut him up and put him unconscious in front of everyone. So I'm going to be doing that in December. So all in all, it's a busy year. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot going on. Trying to balance all that out with being a married man is a lot, but I have been enjoying it. I'd rather be busy than bored. So it's been good. Also, one thing I forgot to mention for those of you who weren't on stream yesterday, if this interests you, I know a lot of you do like kind of seeing the not behind the scenes, but hold on, you'll see what I mean in a second here. For any of you who are interested, my company Fluence, we recently, about a week and a half ago, we started a new YouTube channel where we go and we interview creators and builders in the space. We did an interview with Sam from My Financial Friend. We did an interview with Austin Hilton. I just recorded an interview with Oscar Ramos talking about XRP in that community today. I'm getting interviewed for it, so I'm going to tell my story and a little bit more about me over here. I'm doing that tomorrow. We release videos on the 10th, 20th, and 30th of every single month, and then we also have like shorts and stuff that go out with little clips of those things. So I will go ahead and just throw the I didn't mean to do that. Hold on, I don't know how to do this. There we go. What's the copy button? Jeez Louise. Okay, there we go. Give me a second. There we go. So feel free to go check that out. Yeah, feel free to go check that out. I will put that also in the description of this live stream. You guys can go watch those videos. Our newest channel. Yeah, so that is in the description if you guys want to go give it a refresh. I really am like very passionate about this project. I think that this can be one of the more interesting podcasts in the entire space of Web3, because not many people get to learn about the backstories of creators and actually see the world from our lens. And I actually think that creators are the ones who make the world of crypto go round. I think without creators, crypto, especially the altcoin market, would almost be non-existent in many capacities, and it wouldn't be produced in front of you all, and you guys wouldn't get to see it. And so I think being able to hear from the people who make this space do what it does is great. And so yeah, there's that. But yeah, so that's what the end of the year looks like for me. I know that was a lot. Sorry for the word vomit there, but yeah, that's what it looks like for me. Let's see. Shout out to UG. Bigger and better. Let's go. Exchange tokens you're bullish on. Definitely exchange tokens I'm bullish on. It's a great question. Weeks, WEX, WEEX, X, they have a token, and I think that's probably the one I'm the most bullish on because I see them actively making big moves, and it's translating to their token doing decently. Nope, I'm not moving to Miami. Are you choosing who's going to get your playbook, or I just need to wait? No, whenever you fill out the information on the website, you'll get an email. If you don't see it, go to the search bar in your email and just type in playbook and you'll see it. I've recently posted on your X about Ernest about crypto, where I was scammed and lost my money with his arbitrage signal on Triton-X with BNB. Just wanted to warn your community. Very interesting. Okay, yeah. Tag me. If you could tag me again, I'll check it out. That's weird. Okay, yeah, I'll check it out. School is one of the best values in crypto. I appreciate that. We got some big stuff coming up. We'll do. Still in simple, or yeah, I still hold my simple for sure. Just holding, really. Just holding and letting the team do their thing. What do y'all want to see some TikToks and shorts about today? I'm posting a couple shorts. Probably do one on Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, maybe a few more. Let me know in the chat. How do you keep a clear mind while training for a fight with all the sparring? How do you keep a clear mind while training for a fight with all the sparring? How do you avoid CTE? I definitely do have a little bit of brain damage. I'm not going to lie. I've been fighting for a long time. I started training in 2009. It's 2015 or 2000. Fuck, there you go. 2025 now. So it's been 15 years of training and / fighting for me. I had my very first kickboxing fight. It would have been 9 years ago now. So I've basically sparred every week since then. Gladly, I have a style of fighting that allows me to avoid damage. I'm not super brawly. I like to kind of just be very specific about what I do, very precise about what I do. And so because of that, I don't get hit a ton, which is good. But at the end of the day, I still do take a lot of damage. I'm sure you guys have noticed the injuries, like the scars and stuff like that. This is a complete shoulder reconstruction and stuff. So I've definitely taken some damage, but gladly the brain is still clear. I'm very intentional about the things that I do to make sure that my brain stays sharp, make sure that I kind of keep my shit together. I think that there's also a lot of brain power that you can gain from treating your brain correctly, feeding it the proper things, training, not overstressing, getting good sleep. I think that all plays a part of it. And so I just try to make sure that I keep a balanced life, and I do my best. But at the end of the day, I definitely know that later in life, I am going to pay the fees for all of the things that I am doing now. I know 60s and 70s will be a tough time for me as a result of the fighting, but I would rather it that way. So anyway. What do you think about Coral? That boy has held crazy well for Minecraft. Yeah, man, I love it. I love Coral. I think it's great. I have more content coming about them next week, actually. Is entry for a long on ETH at 4270 good? I don't know. Maybe as digital assets. I'm just joking. Let's 4270. Yeah, I mean, I think it's decent, but the issue and the thing that you need to remember is that ETH is still in this structure, right? And God damn it, while we are still in this structure, at any given point, it could just fall through this, right? It could just I'm talking just dump straight to 4,000. So I wouldn't be opening that as a big long, to be honest. I did not get your playbook. I've looked everywhere. Shoot me an email. The email is in my description. Shoot me an email. We'll try to figure it out. Do you know, a friend of mine entered that, and I think he's being scammed. Can you tell me something about it? Of course, if you know. No, I don't know anything. Not that I think. How's the Vet? Love the Vet. It's my favorite car. I am actually doing some pretty cool stuff with it pretty soon. I have a consultation tomorrow. I'm going to get it wrapped, and I'm going to get some cool paint stuff going on, so should be interesting. I like Sonic a lot. I would definitely say of all of those, I think Sonic has the most potential for sure. I was done with fighting, but there are still some things I haven't accomplished yet that I just can't live without. Like I was ranked #1 in Louisiana in in amateur mixed martial arts. I went pro. I worked myself up. I was number 14 in the state. At one point, I was ranked number 20 at 145 pounds in the United States. So I broke into the top 20 in the entire country. And having done all that, I never won a championship. And it's something that's kind of like bothered me since. And the reason why I never won a championship is because I never got the opportunity. I was signed to fight 4 times, 4 champions, and all 4 champions pulled out the fights and they never happened. And so I kind of just can't let it go. It's kind of one of those things where I would regret it. And I've kind of made a promise to myself to not live a life that I would regret. And so because of that, I have to go and I have to pursue it. So I'm going to go out there. I'm going to fight this guy. I'm going to hopefully put him unconscious. And then I'm going to call for a title shot against the champion. And yeah, hopefully fight for a belt. And win or lose, I think it's fine. I would obviously love to win. If I lose, though, knowing that I did that in the pursuit of greatness, I'm okay with that. So we'll see, obviously, but I'm pretty confident for sure. Advice for someone who's 21 getting into crypto and trying to trade. 3 pieces of advice. Advice number 1, I would say, is to don't focus all of your time and attention on crypto if you don't have your shit together. So if you don't have your life in order, if you're not sleeping well, if you're not eating well, if you're not taking care of your body, you're not going to be able to do anything in crypto. The truth is, to find success in crypto 90% of the time, 95% of the time, you need to set the habits in your real life that are going to make that possible and accomplishable. And if you're not sleeping, you're waking up, you're eating bad shit all day, how could you expect to have a clear enough brain to succeed in an industry in which most individuals fail? It doesn't make sense. You won't. Okay. So advice number 1 at 21 years old is get your shit together. Advice number 2 is take it slow and don't rush. I know it feels very easy to feel like you need to rush, like you need to take all these big, huge bounds and leaps, and you have to catch up and you have to have a Lamborghini and all this bullshit. But the truth of the nature here, guys, is that crypto will provide opportunities for those who await those opportunities forever. There will always be opportunities in crypto, just like there's always opportunities in stocks. And sure, was it easier to get rich, quote unquote, in crypto in 2021? Of course, but that's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, you can only get rich today, or in the future. You can't get rich from the past. And I guess my opinion on it is you don't need to rush, because if you rush, you won't, right? Like if you rush through this and you try to figure this all out at once and you try to just like, I don't know, man, if you try to do everything all at once and learn everything and take giant risks, you're just setting yourself up for failure. And you might say, well, what about this guy who bought this altcoin, this meme coin, and then he made $1 million? It's like, yeah, fantastic. But how many other people bought every other meme coin and it didn't happen? The likelihood is everyone watching this, except for maybe 1 or 2 of you, is not going to get rich off of one investment. You're going to get rich over time. You're going to invest over time in an experience. And so just focus on getting time in, focus on getting experience, and not so much focus on trying to get rich right now. Okay. And the third piece of advice that I would give you is start with investing and then switch to trading. I think it's best to start investing. And the difference between investing and trading is oftentimes investing is much more of a passive thing, okay? So let me kind of clarify in the sense that I would focus on passive investment first. So find assets like Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Solana, VOO, S&P, like the S&P 500, Apple, whatever it may be. Find assets that you're willing to just buy and leave alone before you start trying to day trade. Because the truth is, most people who start day trading stop day trading. But most people who start investing don't stop investing. And so if I was you, I would start passive investing first. Find assets that have good intrinsic value. They have a reason to be valuable. They have a reason to go up over time and be worth more than they're worth now, and invest into those things. And then spend a little bit of your side time learning how to day trade up until a point where you're confident enough with your passive investing strategy that you can just leave that alone and then allocate a lot more time to day trading with a lot of very, very little risk. The truth is, if you're going to start in the world of crypto, I wouldn't even be thinking about day trading for a year. I would just focus on getting your feet wet in the actual market of asset investment first, and then pursue that later. But again, none of this matters if you don't have your shit together. Truthfully, I never found any sort of success, and I'm not going to try to say like I'm all successful and all that bullshit. But the truth is, I never found any level of success, whether it be through this or through my YouTube channel or whatever, until I got my shit together. When I was 18 in college, my freshman year, drinking like an idiot, going to parties, doing dumb shit that I shouldn't have been doing, guess what? That was whenever I was at my lowest. I didn't feel good. My body wasn't handling it well. I never felt like I actually could accomplish anything. I didn't feel the motivation needed to push through the days that fucking suck, because many days as an entrepreneur, trader, investor, they fucking suck. I felt no motivation to get through any of that. But the second that I realized, like, hey, I need to get my shit together, guess what? I was able to push through hard days, and I was able to come up with ideas that have led to 8-figure companies. I'll shoot the messenger. It just is what it is, right? You have to get your shit together. So that's kind of my piece of advice. Sorry, I know that was a bit of a long one, but I'm very passionate about this. So anyway. Nope, answered this one. AI 16s is pretty good. Will ADA break down under 80 again, or are we headed higher? I mean, obviously, I don't know. Oh, under 80? Yeah, I mean, it definitely could break under 80. I mean, it's not that far away. Man, how was that elbow from Leron versus Pico? Oh, my God, dude. And then for Carlos Prates to have done it right before that fight, oh, my God, dude, it was nuts. Your opinion on logging Ondo soon for the news tomorrow. What's the news tomorrow? And also stop. I wouldn't be focused too heavily on trying to trade knowing that there's news. Stop trying to trade news, because the market will do some shit it's not even supposed to. Trade based off of your long-term macro thesis, not so much news and events, okay? I hope you sleep this guy next fight. Let's go. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll get knocked out. It is what it is. Shout out to you guys. All right. Umesh, that's enough. My word. ChatGPT advised me to short SEI. Shit. I mean, yeah, look, sure. To short it? I mean, I'd be careful with that right now, to be honest. Like, maybe a small one is cool, but I would definitely be careful with that a little bit because, I mean, it's at massive support and it's holding support decently well and it has golden zone below it. So I wouldn't be opening up a big one. Maybe a small one is cool, right? Like maybe you're in pursuit of the trend line retracement, maybe somewhere back here, but I definitely would be careful. I would be very careful. Why are you not holding TARS AI anymore? I am holding TARS AI. Why does everyone say that? Why does everyone say that? Everyone always says, why do you not hold that anymore? I do hold it. Who told you I don't? Google Tyler the Hitman Hill. Yeah, he's a nerd, the way I see it. Tyler speaking massive value. Shout out to you, homie. Someone banned Sharma. Yeah, I had to get him out of there. Edward Horton. Old Doc in the building. What's up? What about you asking a different question? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you believe in God? I do. I do in some capacity. I definitely, like, I don't really get super deep into the whole religious thing, but I definitely think that if I'm a firm believer in the idea that if there's a creation, there's a creator. And at the end of the day, I'm much more of a firm believer that the human mind is not capable, like it's not conceptually capable of understanding something it can't understand. For example, you can't tell someone to come up with a color they've never seen before. So how could someone give you an accurate definition of what happens post-death? That is kind of like my assessment of it, but I do believe that there is some sort of things bigger than us. And I think that it's our naivety as human beings that allows us to think that we are as big as it gets. So to me, yeah, I do in some capacity believe in God for sure. I think there are many fantastic faiths out there, and I would assume that there's a lot of truth and falsehoods in every single religion that there is. That's my general belief. That's my general belief. And I do kind of find myself associating myself with some denominations a little bit more. But as I get older, I am still in pursuit of understanding, and I am just in the pursuit of hoping that one day I can have something that I can sit down on and say, this is exactly what I believe. But I don't know if human beings are capable of that. And so because of that, I kind of just go day by day trying to learn more as much as I can. All right, anyway. If there is a creator, then what is our purpose? Because everything has a reason or purpose. I don't know. That's a great question, and hopefully we can figure it out. Hopefully we can figure it out. At the end of the day, one thing that I do know is my purpose is to make sure that my wife eats. Make sure my wife eats, have a bunch of beautiful children, and make sure that they eat, and hopefully leave an impact and a legacy on the world that I'm remembered by. What else can I do? You know what I mean? Thoughts on Sweet sub $3 to 280. Let's see. I love how we go from like deep shit to like sweet charts. Sweet falling that low. Yeah, I mean, I definitely could see Sweet trying to retrace somewhere around there because you have to remember that we are still in pursuit of this Fibonacci golden zone. This Fibonacci golden zone does range between 295 and 263. So I think Sweet pulling back to that golden zone would be super reasonable. I think that's definitely possible. My purpose is to lose Solana on meme coins. Hey, shout out to you. You don't hold it anymore under my comment. I don't think I said that. I don't know why I would have said that. Maybe I auto-corrected wrong. Just put at Tyler Hill in the comment and I'll go look to see what I said, but I don't think I said that. No, I don't. I haven't checked it out before, Anthony. Shout out to you, HMZ, Mr. HMZ. Find God in you, find enlightenment. That is your journey. Cool. What do you think? What do you think high will be for ADA this cycle? Hard to tell, honestly. Very hard to tell. ADA is one of those ones where I can't tell if it's going to do good or not. VOO closing at a 0.74% pullback on the day. I mean, pretty decent day at the end of the day after being down over 1.5%. Nice little 50% recovery there for the VOO price. ADA, I mean, an ADA high for this cycle definitely could push back to all-time highs or higher. I mean, I would say that like a $4 or $5 ADA is reasonable. You don't like gold? I never said that. I just don't know. Like, I don't have any. Only one God allows. Shout out to you. I'm glad you have that. Found my purpose in Jesus. Yeah, shout out to you as well. I'm glad you have that as well. I think that religion is a very fantastic thing that can lead people in a lot of the right directions. I think most religions have extremely, extremely good fundamental moral values that can guide people to be good people in general. And whether it's Muslim, whether it's, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, I don't really care. I think that oftentimes some sort of religious involvement will usually lead most people, not everyone, but most people in a great direction. And it oftentimes is kind of reflected across those that they impact and the communities that they're in. I think that's a great thing. So shout out to all of you guys. What do you think about Pyth? It has a good run the other day and holding strong. I haven't really looked much at Pyth. I remember looking at Pyth like a while back and thinking like, this isn't for me. You invest in individual equities ever? Not really. Not really, to be honest. Watch a Hitman Hill video. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Yeah, you can go check it out. I do have some stuff. If you go here, this is my most recent fight. I took this like very short notice, so it wasn't a great performance by me, but we got the win. This was my favorite fight. I'm actually fighting this guy again. So the guy I fought in this fight right here, Elijah Brantley, I'm fighting him again. This is another one of us. Here's another video. This is a fight from not too long ago. This was a pretty good one. Went pretty well, I'd say. This guy's a vet, but a bunch of fights. He had like 10 more fights than me or something like that. But we escalated out a clinch and I caught him right clean on the jaw and kind of rung his little bell. I could kind of smell that he was hurt and just kind of went for the kill here. Kind of fought like a bit of an idiot right here. I definitely wasn't as precise as I'd like to be, but I could kind of just feel that the wind was there. So I was like, you know, I can probably put this guy away. So I just dumped the tank on him. It was a good one though. Anyway. All right, let's see. What do you think about Link the Cycle? Link's been okay. Link's been kind of boring, but everything's been boring, to be fair. Shed light on Render and Dot. I'll do some updates on Render and Dot pretty soon, actually. Not sure on that one. Thoughts on projects who lack promotion, such as an active Twitter? Are they less likely to succeed? Because yes, they are much less likely to succeed, especially in the modern day. Shout out to you, Pogo Wins. You had some of the funniest comments I've seen in a long time earlier. Do you think the juice control the juice? I don't know. I don't really get much into that because I don't understand it, to be fair. Safe exit for Qubit. What do you mean? Shout out. Yo, to Tyler. What's up, homie? Shout out to you. Just replied on the September will be insane for crypto. Okay, yeah, I'll go look at it. I might have just misworded it. I don't know why I would say that unless it was someone from my team, which also wouldn't make sense because they can see my portfolio. That's the exact one I just watched. Yeah, that was a good one. Stray dog coin. Nope. Carlos Prates. That's a huge compliment. I actually been watching Carlos Prates content a lot recently, so I'll take it. Shout out to you, HMZ. I would agree. I think fighting has given me an intense capability to monitor my emotions no matter what I'm going through. Because at the end of the day, I've had multiple fights where I've taken a broken foot or a broken hand or a broken arm or a broken nose or whatever. And you have to be able to keep your fucking cool. Like if you freak out, you lose, right? And that's how crypto is. You freak out, you lose. And so it's given me an ability to relax under stress and relax under pressure and perform under pressure. Do the things that people are scared to do. You know, when you're sitting in the back of that fight, dude, and they come back and they say, Tyler, you walk out in 2 minutes. Tyler, you walk out in 90 seconds. Tyler, you walk out in 60 seconds. Tyler, you walk out in 30 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. And you're just sitting there and you know that on the other side of that curtain could be actual death. Not pretend death that people say, but like one wrong move, one wrong slip, one bad takedown, something that could, you know, I mean, it could be over for you. Like you could die, you can be paralyzed, you can break an arm, you can lose things like. And not only is that going to happen to you, but it's going to happen to you in front of everyone you love. So not only are you going through something bad, but you're going to put your entire family through a traumatic experience purely for the joy of adrenaline. And it's a fucked up thing, don't get me wrong, but you have to be able to still understand that all of those things are happening. You have to know that this might be your last night on Earth, and you still need to be willing to make that walk down that aisle, take off your shirt, put your gloves on, and fight another savage, right? And it's a rough thing, and so you have to be capable of just dealing with it. You just have to deal with those emotions and you have to still be able to perform. And up until this point, I've never lost. So I think that ability to be able to handle those emotions has allowed me to, that's why I don't give a fuck. Like when the crypto market's falling, I don't care. You know what I mean? Because you have to be capable and willing to do much more in the world that I'm in. So let's see. You mainly a Muay Thai guy? Yeah, it's definitely it's my love for sure. I meant, how do you see Qubit going in terms of market cap? I definitely think it can crack 20 M's for sure. No thanks. Jake Paul is absolutely gigantic. 5X. I've seen Jake Paul in person. He's big as shit. 5X leverage is good, or should I lower my leverage? 5X is fine. Just be very careful with your entries and exits. Do you play chess? If not, you should. I actually tried. I did try for a little while. I got kind of sidetracked. I started learning chess and then I blew my shoulder out and I never picked it back up. But I'd love to pick it back up one day. I definitely feel like I could do some cool stuff. My issue is I'm insanely competitive with everything that I do, and my concern is that I get distracted trying to beat everyone. So I've been training since 6-year-old, but I'm scared to get in the ring, kind of worried for others around me. Then there's nothing wrong with that. Like, and that's one thing I always tell people, you don't have to get in the ring. You don't have to go fight someone. You don't have to cause injury or take injury. Like, it's a terrible thing that we do at the end of the day. I'm going in there to either hurt myself or hurt that person. And whenever you think about the fact that it's just another human being, it's just another person that's just like you, who's in pursuit of greatness in their dreams, it is a very sad thing after you hurt them. But it is what it is. And so if you're not capable or willing or you don't want to do it, don't. I don't blame you. Some of us are just addicted. I box and I'm brain damaged too. I feel it. Tyler, what do you think of Chainlink? Chainlink's good. Chainlink's just been boring. Will you fight your fans? I don't think so. You ever feel fear, Tyler? How do you deal with it? I definitely do. I definitely feel fear in a lot of ways that I never felt it before. I feel fear about things that not how do I explain this? I don't get very scared of much, to be honest. Like I feel like okay, whenever I did an escape room in Austin, Texas the other day, and like there was a little girl from the ring just running around. That shit was scary, right? But genuine fear, not really. I think some of my biggest fears are almost more tied into the people around me, right? So like I feel fear of everything crumbling around me and not being able to take care of my family, right? Or not being able to provide for my wife, not being able to provide for my animals, not being able to, answer that phone call if someone needs me. I fear oftentimes, like taking a massive injury that, like I get like tore the fuck up, right? And like I'm not capable of protecting my family. And I do have those fears, but at the end of the day, a fear is only something, how do I explain this? A fear to me is only something that I feel if I feel like I don't have control. And what I mean by that is, okay, yeah, I feel fear that I'll lose my business and I can't provide for my wife. But at the end of the day, as long as I do the things that I'm supposed to do, 9 times out of 10, that won't happen, right? So fear is only something where I believe fear stems from a lack of control. If you feel like you can't control something, you feel genuine fear. If you're in control of that thing, it's more just anxiety, and anxiety is not really real. Like, anxiety clinically is real, but whenever someone says, "Oh, I'm anxious about this fight," I'm like, "Yeah, that's just normal. Like, that's not a real thing. It's just how you feel." So I don't know even how to explain this really. I just feel like whenever I feel fear, I think of the rationale. I think of the solution. Okay, I'm scared that I'm going to lose my business and can't provide for my wife, so I need to work harder. I need to do better. I need to make sure that doesn't happen. I need to protect myself. I need to do whatever it takes to ensure that that doesn't happen. It's almost like a challenge in many capacities to overcome that fear. So I do feel it. I just don't really fall into it. I'm not one of those people who falls a victim or falls into the trap of believing that something can control me, right? Oh, I'm scared that this guy's going to knock me out. Listen, guys, I'll be honest. Like, this guy has made it very clear that that I'm fighting in a few months. He's made it very clear that he believes he has the secret formula to beat me. He said, I was in there with him for 9 minutes. I know how to beat him. I know what it takes to beat him. And there is fear that arises in me as a result of him saying that. So what happens as a result of that? I'm not going to go in there and just get knocked the fuck out, right? No, of course. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to train hard. I'm going to run faster. I'm going to jump higher. I'm going to do everything that it takes to make sure that that doesn't happen. So fear is a challenge. Fear is not an ultimate end. And I just kind of treat it that way, I guess. Anyway, so. All right, hope it was a typo. Check out the comments. You straight up say you don't hold it anymore. Fuck. Okay, yeah. Let me go look. I need to go see. I need to see if it was me. I have to see what I said. That's so odd. That's so odd. I don't know who said that. So I have a team of people who help me every now and then. Whenever I if I'm sick or something. Hey, I'm gonna Rice, I'm gonna go close. I'm just gonna remove that comment. I just deleted the whole thing because that's not the truth. I have TARS. I don't know. That was very odd. That's why I was arguing with you. I apologize. I will say wrong. I was wrong there. I was wrong there. That's why I argued it. You said you don't hold it. I'm like, yes, I do. Who told you that? Me. I didn't. My bad. I'll go ask around and see where that came from. Is your shoulder good? My shoulder's perfectly fine. My shoulder's it feels like exactly like it did in the beginning. Tyler, you should be like that dude that goes around fighting his fans, not jokes. That'd be funny. And good entry price for Crow. I actually think when I looked at Crow the other day, like earlier today, I thought it was a decent time. I'd say Crow's getting to a decent point right now of accumulation. Like, I think sub 25 cents is a decent. Do you plan on selling majority of your crypto before the bear run, or are you holding everything for the long run? I'm going to shift about 80% of my altcoin positions into Bitcoin for the bear run. So I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to take some profits off the table in the bull market, but when it comes time for a bear market, I am going to shift most of it into Bitcoin. Or into Bitcoin. 1 concussion, good. 2 concussions, still fine. 5 concussions, I'm a crypto trader now. Yep. Welcome in. What do you do for hand speed? Is it just repetition on the pads and bags, or do you do any exercises? A lot of shadow boxing, a lot of intentionality, and shadow boxing with weights and weighted gloves is very good for you. It can make you find a lot more speed. The truth is, if you want to get faster, you have to just try to be fast. I know that sounds stupid, but oftentimes when people are sparring, they punch with no intention of actual speed. They punch just to punch. No, you have to throw that bitch like you mean for it to be fast, and it'll usually be a lot faster. So it's just intentionality with everything you do. Fear is a compass pointing you towards the work you need to do. I'm going to write that down. I like that. I like that. I want that. I'm going to say that in my interview tomorrow, by the way. I'm going to shout you out dropping pins. Fear. Pointing you in the direction. Pointing you towards the... Okay, pointing you towards the work you need to do. I love that. Appreciate that. Dropping pins. Dropping pins. YouTube. Shout out to you. I'm going to shout you out in my interview tomorrow. Anxiety and excitement are the same thing. I 100% agree. Was August actually the right timber? Maybe. Stray dog. I'm not looking into straight altcoin, homie. September would be Pumptober. Everything is moving in advantage. Whatever. I'm gonna leave this one on. What do you guys think about taking out lows by Bitcoin? I don't think that's a good idea. Do you think bonk could be the ship of the cycle? I think bonk could be the bonk of the cycle. Yeah, I'll do a TLDR before I wrap it up. Yeah, I think sub 25 is fine. I was just confused how just glad that one true. Yeah, I still believe in it as well. That's why I was like, dude, what? I still have TARs. What do you mean? Who should I watch to improve my defense? Fantastic question. If you want to look how to improve your defense with using footwork, watch Israel Adesanya and Sean O'Malley. I think they're just 2 great examples of using their feet to get out the way. If you want to watch someone... If you want to look how to like use your hands and use your shoulders to roll to get out the way of shots, I'd watch Dustin Poirier. I'd watch Sean Strickland because they're very good at disengaging shots with their hands. If you want to watch some of the best defense in general, give me a second. If you're tall, it would obviously be John Jones because he doesn't get hit often. If you're not tall, Mighty Mouse probably had the best defense of anyone I've ever seen before. So I would say any of those are great. Do you think Bitcoin will drop to 50K? No, not really. I don't think that it'll drop to 50K. It could. I just don't really see that because of the institutional interest. And yeah, I'll do a bit of I'll post something on my Instagram showing people what the office and stuff looks like. Why do you keep a lot of Bitcoin in a bear market? A fear to buy higher if it's not dropping. Just because if I'm going to hold anything in a bear market, I'd just rather it be Bitcoin. Stay small enough, long enough, you'll be big enough soon enough. Love it. Who's that? August. Caleb, what's up, homie? Do you watch soccer? Nah, I don't. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big soccer guy. Watch Clay Guida for defense, but Ilya got good defense, especially versus Emmett. He did. He had very good boxing defense as well. Have you ever sparred with Connor? No, we have not. Rampage had great defense, true. TA on straight up. Venom Page is good to watch for feet. Yeah, that's a very good job. He does create a good void as well. I don't know how that just blanked. Yeah, MVP is one of the best. All right, guys. Well, look, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We've been on live for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Jonathan Gonzalez, I am 6'2", kind of maybe 6'3". But look, I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap it up. It's been a fantastic stream. Quick TLDR, the market is still in a very shaky spot. Things are still looking a little bit weird. I'm not going to lie. I would definitely say, sorry, I'm going to get this loaded up here. The market's still in a bit of a precarious position. I would say that there's still going to be a lot of volatility, a lot of ups and downs. There's going to be a lot of pumps and dumps. But in general, I am still under the belief that whether the market dumps right now or doesn't dump right now, that Bitcoin is going to find highs. ETH is going to find all-time highs. XRP is going to find all-time highs. Solana is going to find highs. I think that this market still has some some juice in it. I still think that pumps are possible. I still think that growth is possible. And so even if we do see one more pullback from the market back to these lower levels, I think a run is going to happen anyway. So my game plan and strategy are quite simple. I'm dollar cost averaging and buying crypto at these key levels of support. For Bitcoin, it's this range here between 111 and 106. The second range is 98.4. The third range is 90 to 82. And I'm going to do dollar cost averaging using some of the profits that I took when Bitcoin was at those higher levels, using, of course, that cash there. I do have a very, very tiny Solana trade that is open right now, but obviously that's just in profit, so I'm just going to leave it alone and see what happens. Outside of that, I'm not really doing much else on leverage, just kind of playing the game how it's supposed to be played, buying low, selling high. Outside of that, if you guys do want some extra content from me, don't forget that over on Instagram, I am posting a lot more content, so you can feel free to go follow me. I know 11 of you went follow me since the stream, so shout out to you. I am going to have a couple of videos going out today on like probably Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP. Feel free to check that out. Also, if you want some behind the scenes content from me, you can check that there. Check that out there. Don't forget, you can go get up to $10,000 in bonuses and lower trading fees if you do sign up to my link to BTCC down below. That is where I do the vast majority of my trading. You can also go get the crypto playbook, where you're going to get a ton of free content. If you just go over, sign up, put in your name and your email, press get my guide. I'm going to email it to you. Go to the search bar and type in crypto playbook or just playbook, and it should be available there for you. And yeah, overall, I think that is about it for the day. Again, I appreciate everyone from joining in. Jason, all of you, you've been in here the whole stream. Stein R, shout out to you. Shout out to everyone who's been in here. I'm going to go clean up these little scratches from the bookshelf because that shit hurts. I ain't going to lie. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to record a couple shorts. I'm going to go hang out with the wife. I'm going to call it a night. I appreciate everybody for joining in. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video and live stream, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.